Hey there guys, it's Metro. And today is the day that patch 8.1 will come out. I am very ill. I don't know how I've gotten so ill in such a short period of time, but starting yesterday, extremely ill. I'm having some problems with encoding. Hopefully everybody can hear me, but regardless, yeah. Definitely very sick, but today is Tuesday. I couldn't possibly sleep or rest or whatever else. Are we good here? Let's make sure the stream's good first. Looks like we're struggling for some reason. That seems right. CR, what's up, buddy? I feel you. I'm under the weather as well. Hope you feel better. Yeah, hopefully I will. Got a long weekend ahead of us. This weekend I will not be here at all. Multiple family things and shopping and Christmas stuff to do. So, hey Tommy, what's up, buddy? But unfortunately, yeah, today was meant to be, I don't know why I thought it was going to be differently, but today was meant to be a big day. I wouldn't be able to be Friday or Saturday here. But yeah, 3 p.m., yeah. 3 p.m. PST as well, which is a very long time from now. 6 hours from now. So, we will try to find something entertaining to do for a few hours. But I do hope, you know, in the past, the servers have come up about 2 or 3 hours before they estimate. So, if we could just get online before raid, I'll be happy. I could do a couple things. There's not a lot to do, to be honest, but I just want to do a couple things. Let the beta testing begin? Yeah. I'll let you know in a couple hours. I mean, realistically, if the servers come up when they say they're going to come up, I won't have any time. I'll just have to go right into raid. You East Coast. Yes, that's correct. East Coast. I'll open my caches and then just, yeah, have to go right into raid. But anyway, so we are going to read the forums for a bit. This is something I wanted to do anyway in the last Q&A. If you guys haven't seen the Q&A announcement, that is not the right. Let's see, how do we fix that? I'm not really sure. I think it just has to be the main. Not really sure what to do about that. Let's see, Windows capture. There it is. Alright, there we go. Anyway, 1800 CET. That's when it comes out for you guys tomorrow, or what? That's like like middle Europe time, right? 8.1 fixes a lot of issues in 8.1. It says 8.1 is shit and not worth it. Yeah, that's another shame. Let's actually do that first. Let's take a look at the patch notes. We'll start with that. This is actually a great place to start because a lot of what we're going to be looking at on the forums today is predicated on you having read these. I would definitely prefer to read it from Blizzard. Let's see. I guess we could read some of the summary stuff as well, but... Central Europe, yeah. It's all over Reddit. I'm about to just go to the sub. I'm about to just not go to the sub anymore. Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to like care about the community. It's really a shame. So anyway, let's take a look at the, we'll start with this. Let's take a look at this. This is quite interesting. Let's move it up a bit. Alright, anyway. Hey Mads, what's up, buddy? How's it going? CST is where it's at, boys. Nice, CST, that's a good one. So we'll start by going through the patch notes, and I'll give a little commentary on them. And then there's something I really want to do with the forum, so stick around for that for sure. So we got new quest lines, new chapters in the war campaigns are now available, obviously. That's kind of like the main purpose of the patch. But the thing that I will say before we even look at this is the patch is like, it's a mountain of small changes. It really is. There's not that one massive thing that I'm really excited for. Well, there kind of is. The Mythic Plus, the gearing changes is really nice. But there's so many big, small changes. Let's put it that way. This one is actually one of them. Several new missions are now available both at your ward table, as well as from new drops from various activities, such as island expeditions. Look for new missions to upgrade your faction's outposts, level up followers so they gain access to new equipment slots, and send your followers on lucrative new weekly treasure hunts. This is the big one here. This is really nice, and this is we'll see this when we get closer to the island post. But yeah, this is actually extremely nice. What do you think about Mythic Plus Keys deletion change? Yeah, we'll talk about that. That's something that we'll talk about when we get there. But yeah, this is like probably one of the biggest. I didn't know about this until last night. I literally had not heard of this until yesterday. So this is an incredibly nice change. Basically, the table is kind of useless right now. I'd be fine if they remove the table, but if they're keeping it, it better be more useful than it is. That's for sure. Faction assaults. Obviously, we know already about this, but one reminder, you know, you're going to be able to do this on alts. I don't know if it's very good for leveling, though. I've heard people say it is not very good for leveling. So I guess we'll find out. Warfront, obviously new Warfront. Contributions of Darkshore as well as Stormguard now operate on a daily cycle. Another big change. Another big, small change. When resources are being mustered, these three quartermasters will each put out a request for a different contribution each day. The requests turned in have also been adjusted to be more consistent in their value. So I'm interested in seeing this. Because there's definitely like, you know, like 30 gems is one of them. It's like, what the hell? Jacksker. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Enjoy the videos. Thanks a lot, man. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I hope all the changes make me want to do islands more. I definitely will be wanting to do islands more. I'm going to talk about that in a second here. But this is cool. I don't know about this, though, because it's going to be each day. I'm going to miss days when I'm at work and stuff, so that sucks. But when your faction controls either Arathi or Darkshore, Woad quests are now available in each zone. Another big, small change. I actually get you out there daily. Because right now, there's once you have it and you've done those quests, there's absolutely no reason to be out there. Which is sad. Heritage Armor questline. Obviously, we know about this. I don't currently have a Blood Elf max, but I definitely will be leveling my Paladin. I'm probably going to do a lot of Paladin leveling this weekend, since I'm not going to have enough time to stream. But I'll have a little bit of time to play. I'll probably do some Paladin. Now, especially with all the changes, I hope to get it to 120 by next week. Island expeditions. Here we go. This might be the biggest one. Scouts have discovered 2 new destinations. By the way, they look amazing. If you haven't seen them, Jorndal and Havenswood are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to be in there. These are all, these as well as the previous islands now feature new enemies, achievements, items, events, and vendors. Vendors, cool. The logic used to spawn island expeditions have been adjusted to favor more organic concentration of foes. So this will be a lot nicer. There won't just be these random bears in the middle of nowhere charging you, preventing you from riding past them. Hopefully. Hopefully that's what they're talking about. It'll be more like a pack, like in a dungeon, I think. Although maybe it'll make it feel too much like dungeons, I think it's still a better change. This is probably the biggest change for islands. The chance for cosmetic rewards are now based on all enemies and Azerite present on the island, and no longer tied only to enemy camps your team defeats. Completing an island expedition at a higher difficulty increases the chance of receiving these bonus rewards. So, basically, in one fell swoop, they killed everybody farming normals. For multiple reasons, but yeah, that's it for normals. Nick, what's up, buddy? How's it going? How you doing? That's it for normals. Which is probably a good thing, because I can never find a group to do mythics. I'd like to do mythic, but there's never a group. So it's either heroic or normal, and seems like normal is just better off. But on top of that, they also changed the weekly quests to now require 36,000 Azerite, and they made it so mythic and PvP islands now require 350. So that's a big deal, right? It means you're gonna have to do a lot less. A lot less. Wait, no, that hasn't. This is not related to this, regardless. But yeah, this obviously means you'll have to do one less. So that's cool. Battle pet rewarded from the completion of islands that were previously uncageable can now be caged. That's nice. I don't collect battle pets, but if I did, I would be happy to sell them. The weekly island expedition quests and progress towards it are now visible on the world map. We actually saw this on the beta, on the PTR. It's cool. Looks cool. It's easier to see, for sure. You don't have to go to the table. The Island Expedition Weekly Quest now rewards lucrative new treasure map missions. This is what we were talking about before. Very, very, very good change. I'm very excited to see how this works out. Apparently, it gives a bunch more AP. So you get AP from doing it the week, during the weekly, and then you get AP again from doing the quest, whatever the mission. This morning, I read that another Bloody King and Brewmaster nerf made it to live. Oh yeah, where could I see that? I haven't seen that. Oh, you're talking about the one from like. What, that was, I don't know, that was earlier. That was before the whole thing, but... look for new vendors in Borealis and Dazaralor. Yeah, so there's a couple new mounts. I think we might have seen it on MMO Champion had it, I think. Let's take a look. Couple new mounts, which are absolutely expandable, honestly. I really like them. Let's see if we can find these mounts. Thought they had it, but maybe this is still all the patch stuff. I think it was just posted a couple days ago. Anyway, one's a giant fucking pelican, which is amazing looking. Oh, here's the Holy Pally changes. Yeah, they posted like all new 8.1 stuff, so. Please play Feral Warrior, okay. It's on the latest Wowhead topics. Alright, let's take a look. I think you might be looking at the one from the other day, though. Can only imagine what he has to say. Anyway, yeah, you're looking at this, right? This is from a couple days ago now. If you guys didn't see, they nerfed this back to what it was. Hey, Ezekiel, long time no see. What's up, buddy? If you didn't see that, it's nerfed back to what it was before. It's 8.1 out today. Yes, Jeff. Out in a couple hours. Yeah, this is nerfed back to what it was before, so it's no longer a buff to... Like, it basically was a buff to our armor over time. It's no longer. It's now just a nerf to armor, but it's, again... Armor is, like, the least important stat for Blood Decay, so it's, like, really trivial. Postlam, what's up? More stagger nerfs as well. Gotcha. That was probably a good thing. Like, I don't know. Brewmaster is way too physical. I think Bear should be, you know, Bear should be a very capable tank after these nerfs, both Blood and Brewmaster. Anyway, we're not going to find those mounts. Let's get back to this. But yeah, there's some really nice mounts for seafarers. And pets, too. There's actually a really cool pet. You know what? I really want to see if I can find this. There has to be. It has to be on here somewhere. I saw... Let's see. I saw it somewhere. That's from the Wharf Runs. Island Expedition Vendor. There we go. Is Classic out tonight? No. Hi, Metro. What's up? Greg, what's up, buddy? Fortunately, I'm quite ill, but patch is coming out. Oh, yeah, here we go. Look at this thing. How cool is that, right? That's not a mount, though, right? That's a pet. Crimson Octopode. It's so cool. So cool looking. I like that. So why are we not slaughtering at the moment? I'll show you why. That is why. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue looking at this. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, this is a cool one. It's cool. I mean, it's kind of a recolor or whatever, but this is awesome. This is, like, probably my favorite mount in the game. I'm really excited to see what this looks like in game. And then what else? We got there's a pet, or there's a toy. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is kind of cool. Allows your pet to ride on a crab, but this is the one right here. Allows you to surf across water. What the hell is that about? Is that actually going to be, like, a toy that's really useful? 500 seafarer doubloons, so yeah, it's possible. Hand anchor, what is this? Use the anchor as a weapon. What the hell is that? I have my doubloon saved up for my bird mount too. Oh, that's lucky. I wish I saved mine. The new storm drink, yes, that is the one that I'm most excited for, honestly. I don't think we'll see it here, but yeah, that mount is gorgeous. Let's see if it's in this one. No, this is just the official one. Yeah, there's a new dragon mount. It's absolutely gorgeous. Really makes me want to do islands, honestly. Anyway, we're not getting through these very quick. Dungeons and Raids. You can now speak to this. So if you guys didn't know, you couldn't actually do Legion LFR, which I'm not really sure why you would want to when it's still not legacy loot, but now you can, I guess, if you want to go do a achievement or something. The Siege of Brass are now available on Heroic. Island Thunderscale, that's the name of it. Let's look it up. I don't know what CST is. That's Europe, right? I have no idea. It's gonna be another 4 or 5 hours probably at least. Do you know if Pathfinder Part 2 will be available on 8.1? No. It's 8.2. I spam islands to get my dibloms. And I also got Squawks and Twilight Avenger in the same goddamn night. Nice. Yeah, here's that mount. Look at this thing. Absolutely spectacular. It's the world boss, right? Oh, Central Time Zone? Oh, that's only 1 hour behind EST, yeah. I thought that was like a Europe time zone. CST? Oh, that's Central Standard Time, right, of course. Anyway, okay, we read that. It's from Islands. Yeah, I'm aware. It's absolutely outstanding. I definitely want to get this. I don't. Where is it from? Though I know it's from Islands, but is it just a drop? What the hell is this mount? What the hell is this website? I've never even seen this website before. What the hell is this mount? This is actually a mount? Kelp Elemental? Is this really a mount? Wow. Yeah, it's dope as fuck. It looks like a Storm Drake. Yeah, it looks like Nithog from, That's pretty cool. I think it drops like everything else, yeah, hopefully. So like 5 hours and change. That's when it's supposed to come up. Historically, things like this have not been going as long as they have. It's usually never exactly. It's definitely not going to be at 6. It's either going to be earlier or later, one way or the other. So we'll just hang out for a bit. You can now speak to... Okay, so we read this. Oh yeah, here we go. So this is the big one, right? Mythic Keystones can no longer be deleted. What do I think about this? Well, I found out about this over a month ago now when we were on the PTR. Like, I don't know if you guys weren't paying attention, but we were talking about it multiple times on stream, and nobody seemed to bring it up or care about it at the time. You know, when I saw it, I was like, oh. I was like, oh, that's probably going to ruffle some feathers, but I brought it up on stream, you know, to talk to people about it. Nobody seemed to really be upset about it. But now, it's like, the world's on fire. It's like, dude, this was never intended to be done this way. And what people don't seem to understand is, it was allowing people, for example, I'm in a group of 5 people, right? We're all trying to push our keys, and we're doing it like, for example, if somebody gets we all get 14s from the weekly cash or whatever, right? Well, we want to push to a 16. Well, Tommy over there gets a mother load, right? Great push key. Great push key. I got fucking King's Rest. Ugh. Rip King's Rest 14. We're going to do his mother load. So we do his mother load. We upgrade to 15. We do his 15. I now delete my 14, get a new 14. We do his 16. I now delete my key, get a 15. All of us do. All 4 of us get a new 15 from doing his 16. So now we have a 15. If we got his 16 and it's not pushable, we can start even higher. You know what I mean? We don't have to go backwards like you used to in Legion. If you're pushing a key to 16 and you get a dead 16, then it's like, fuck, now we got to go back to 14 because that's what everybody has. But with this, you're all able to get new keys every time you did a dungeon. And that is not how it's supposed to be. That's not why it was added. That's not the purpose of the addition. The reason they added it, explicitly said by Ian Hazakostas, was because people were getting credit from Legion when they were not supposed to be getting credit from Legion, and they could not fix it. It was unfixable. It was not fixable. So they needed to add this so people could get a new key instead of getting a 22 the first week. You know what I mean? So Mythic Keystones can no longer be deleted. I'm not surprised. And everybody who is surprised is being a bit selfish, if you ask me. So that's my thoughts on that. But anyway, it's not ideal, but to get people to do keys they don't want to. I mean, this is how it was all through Legion. What, you know what I mean? Like, why is everybody all of a sudden really upset? Like, it wasn't supposed to be this way, and it was like this for an entire 2 years, and nobody seemed to care at that time. What's up, Nick? What's up, buddy? I think the flight pass being account-wide is great. Yeah. How is the flight path thing going to work? You buy an item. Yeah, it just unlocks all of them. All right, so that's that. Obviously, in case you guys haven't been made aware, January 22nd is when the new patch or the new season comes out. WoW is dead. Nobody really cares about it anymore. Gizmo, welcome to the WoW stream, dude. Andrew Azroth, what's up, buddy? How's it going? I got Seat. Rip. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was the same way in Legion. It was the same way. People hated Seat. They hated Shrine, or they hated Lower Charon some weeks. Like, you know, it's the same way. Anyway, achievements. Many new achievements referring to new assaults, of course. 2 new Mythic Keystones. This is interesting. Again, another one that I didn't know about, but it's like, I don't know what they would be. Feats of Strength are kind of pointless, if you ask me, but it's nice to flex, I guess. Obviously, I will have them all when I log in. Battle for Azeroth, Mythic Keystone dungeon within the time limit. At 10 and then at 15. We got to work on that, obviously. So how did you enjoy Vengeance? Did not. ETA on servers up. They're estimating not till 6 Eastern, but I don't believe them. I didn't hate Seat. Nobody wanted to run it with me, though. I still did them, though, and in the end, it made me like the place a little better. Gotcha. Same as Cathedral. I didn't hate Seat either. I love Vengeance, to be honest. If I tank a plus, that's the tune I use. Gotcha. I actually think the new trait on Vengeance is going to be really strong, and if I can get it, I might enjoy Vengeance. DPS on Fire Mage? oh, yeah, that's you like Fire Mage. Gotcha. What's the new affix in Season 2? It's called... What's it called again? You guys will tell me. I'm drawing a blank, but it has to do with Wont zombie. He resurrects like mobs and shit after you kill him. Reaping, there we go. Which trait on Vengeance? We'll look at it in here. I love jumping around and using Soul Barrier. Gotcha. I miss taking on Demon Hunter. They're so fun. Gotcha. Alright, so let's keep looking here. So, account-bound maps to unlock many flight points on Cold Terrace and Zoldazar can be purchased. So yeah, that's nice. We talked about that. Apparently, Tortolans have new trinkets, which I'm not sure what that's about, but that's cool. And then the Meat Wagon mount is now available, which I won't have yet. Azerite gear vendor. Hopefully everybody's seen this. I should not have to even read this. I have multiple videos on this topic now, but I think there was something in here that was relevant. No, I think it's everything. Everything's, yeah, it was a different post I was thinking of. Everything in here is stuff we already know. How to unlock Meat Wagon. You have to buy the collector's edition for the new Warcraft 3. Here comes the must-have achievements. 1500 IO. Oh, yeah. Actually, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that achievement is actually going to be a good metric to judge people by, isn't it? I have the Meat Wagon mount IRL. Oh, that's cool. 1500 for item level to run a 7. Haha. I'm thirsty. I want to eat a bottle of noodles. That's fine. Well, you can do whatever you want, man. Anyway, Heart of Azeroth. So we got some new traits from the Warfront. These are pretty cool, some of these. I don't know if these are only Alliance, though. I guess these ones that are Night Elf themed are only Alliance, which sucks, because I would like to have this one. Standing still grants you versatility, moving grants you healing. That seems like that would be great for Blood Decay. But I never stand still, that's the problem. I'm always moving. Well, actually, that's a good thing, yeah. Did a 17 free all this week, hoping for some good essence. Sweet, let me know how much you get. I only did a 15. But yeah, these are cool. Each specialization has had one of its Azerite traits replaced with a new one. We'll talk about that in the class section. Reaching friendly, yeah, so this is, of course, the account-wide, whatever, rep thresholds for the champs. So you can now be a champ on your alts, which is great. Cost of using Azerite, this is probably one of the biggest changes. The cost of using Azerite Reforging service available in your faction's capital has been reset to 5 base gold. The cost now decays by 50% every 20 hours. Hey Trip, what's up, buddy? How's it going? I thought the cap was 15 for the currency. I don't think there was a cap. But anyway, yeah, so this is probably one of the bigger changes. They're battling hard on this. We want there to be a penalty to switching, but this is a very generous penalty. So pretty sure the currencies isn't capped. Yeah, there's no cap. There's no cap on receiving it or a cap on having it. At least that we know of. Maybe it'll be different when we log in. New follower equipment. So this is another thing that I didn't, you know, I didn't know they were adding. They're making, again, the table more interesting. So that's nice. New heirlooms. These are pretty interesting heirlooms, to be honest. Because this is the kind of thing we were talking about on stream the other night. A trinket that temporarily increases you and your party's haste. Now, if you guys are not aware, there's Azerite traits that do a similar thing. And of course, there's Justice Howler. Sorry, I'm sick, by the way. There's Justice Howler. Things that are at max level that increases your party's stats. On Azerite gear, trinkets like Justice Howler. And it's incredibly overpowered for low-level content. If you go in, if I have Justice Howler on and these Azerite traits on my 120 Blood Decay, and I group up with somebody who's level 20, and they proc or I use them, he gets the full amount of the stats. So what is that, like 250 verse for Justice Howler? That's gonna like quadruple his damage. He's gonna one-shot things. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really interesting. So I don't know if these are they're gonna scale down or how they're gonna work. Like if a level 60 is playing with a level 30 or something, what's gonna happen? But yeah. What else? The higher the key, the more you get. Yeah. Diminishing returns above 10. That's correct. It definitely didn't say above 15. No. My icon finally changed. Yeah, I saw it on the comment section too. Anyway, Paragon requirements. Or Paragon reputations. This is probably one thing that maybe some people were upset by, but yeah, they're all toys or pets this time. Rewards include toys, bowl of glowing pufferfish. They're cool, to be honest. Cool pets and toys. But there's no mounts. Now, I, for one, think that's good. You've been gnomed? How so? I think that's good. I don't want mounts on there because I'm never going to get them. And some of the mounts are cool. So it's like, selfishly, I think it's better that it's just toys and stuff. At least it'll give me a chance to get something that I might want. But I won't feel like I need to go get these mounts. Anyway, World Quest and missions now reward more gold as well. This is quite interesting. I don't know how much more, but it's going to be interesting. This, another one, might be the most surprising change of the patch. Apparently there's going to be a new PvP brawl that has to deal with Nomi. If you guys remember Nomi from Mop and Legion, he's He was a child in MOP, and then he became an adult who was terrible at cooking. And now, I guess they're going to play on that. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I guess we'll find out when we log in. Remind me to see when the first No Meat Brawl is. We'll have to do it. Then there's Battlefield, or Battle Pet Dungeon, whatever. I've never done any of these, so I have no idea what they even are. Does anybody know what they are? No Me Must Die? Yo, chill out with that, dude. Anti-Semitism there. Relax. Should get Residium for Paragon? Nah, you shouldn't. Interesting that now that mat costs are low, they increase the gold drops. Yeah, it's true. Speaking of, Healer IO is finally at 1K. Sweet, man. Yeah, he's doing a lot. I'm glad you guys are all doing stuff together. What up, Ice Block? Hey, my name's Metro. Worst cooks ever? Couldn't even boil water. For fuck's sake. Think it's capture the flag style where you bring materials to make some food. That's cool. Joking, Metro. I know, I'm just I am too joking, Joseph. Anyway. So yeah, I don't know anything about this kind of stuff, but I'm sure it's cool if you're like a RP or a child or a female or something. All right, so professions. This is probably the thing the second most interesting thing for me. Apparently, JC also gets new rings. I don't know anything about that, but we have new patterns with Sanguicell. Is a big deal for cooking, especially. If you guys haven't seen it, there's new feasts that you can use Sanguicell for, which is huge. It's absolutely the best thing they could have done. It's so smart. It's the smartest thing they could have done. Apparently there's a new enchanting pet, which is neat. Alchemy is the one, though. If you guys haven't seen the alchemy stuff, my god, alchemy's just gotten so much better this patch. It's crazy. And apparently herbalism world quests now have a chance to reward anchorweed, which that's awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I hate pets. I just don't get it. Yeah, I love Pokemon. I love battling, but I hate collecting, so it doesn't really work. I can't wait to play my Bombkin. Sweet. For sure, at Iceblock, I'm far too sexy not to fall in love with. Gotcha. So yeah. So these profession changes are probably the thing I'm most excited for, honestly. Character appearances. This is another really nice one. If you guys aren't aware, Night Elves are getting a black eye color, which is pretty neat. I'm definitely gonna make my Night Elf black-eyed, not punched. I'm not gonna punch him and give him a black eye. I'm gonna make his iris black or his pupil black. Sexy as ever, nice. Oh my god, it's been long, Lameo. Oh, Odin, holy shit. You're right, it's been long. God damn. Playing healer in BFA. How you been, man? What are you up to? Long time no see. Anyway, so let's see. Items from reputation requirement no longer apply to that reputation. That's nice. So you could transmog the shit from, say, Champs Rep on your alts that don't have it. So kind of like Belular. Who's that? Beluar. It's absurd that an adult man uses emoticons like these. Gotcha. Well, I mean, he's a night elf, so he gets black eyes all the time anyway. Puny elves, yeah. This is cool. Partially collected transmog sets will now tell you more information about what's missing. That's awesome. That is definitely something that I am happy to see. Here might be the best change. Fist weapons can now be transmogged over other types of one-handed melee weapons, so I could finally use swords on my Demon Hunter. Honestly, that alone is going to make me want to play my Demon Hunter more. I fucking hate fist weapon transmog. Hey, Motion, what's up, buddy? Fist weapon, that's good, yeah. They didn't say thing about the new patterns for leatherworking. Yeah, you can check them out on Wowhead. I mean, they're not going to put that kind of stuff in the patch notes. Now, here's something that's been setting the world on fire, and I don't really know why. So let me know what you guys think about this. If your character's race or faction cosmetically changes, such as in the new raid or mercenary mode, any Horde or Alliance-centric armor and weapon appearances your character is wearing or has transmogrified to will update to appear as the enemy's faction's virgins? 28 virgins. If you have transmogged an appearance that isn't considered valid for the race you change into, the transmog will be removed, and your armor will, your equipped armor will show, subject to the same faction split. So what I could see that they're talking about here is they're making it so if you're, say, a Tauren, a high mountain Tauren, and you have the whatever, the heritage armor, you have the heritage armor on, and you go into Drazara lore, where you're going to be Void Elf, right? You're going to be the opposite, so it's Void Elf. Well, you're a Void Elf now. You don't have that. You can't wear the Tauren gear. It's like, okay, that's pretty fucking logical, isn't it? And it was only really something that needed to be brought up because they're making a raid where this is going to happen weekly, every single week. So I was like, I'm like, what did you expect? You expect to be wearing high mountain Tauren gear as a fucking Void Elf? I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know how it works right now, though. That's the thing. Pushing all that Mythic Plus, gave up on rating, sitting at 1.4k, and just got my static group to really start pushing. Sweet. I'm actually at 1.4 as well, but I don't have a static group, unfortunately. Hey, Metro, can you run down your talents again on Blood DK when you log in? If you remind me when I log in, but it might not be for a long time, so. Are we still on for tonight? Oh, yeah, absolutely. As long as the servers are up, we'll be raiding. It's not just cosmetic, though. Your racial's change in that raid, too. Right, yeah, I mean, it's fine. It has nothing to do with this, though. Kind of sucks, IMO? I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I like the idea, but this is how it's going to be done, so. Okay, this is probably the biggest change in the goddamn patch right here. Like, again, a mountain of small changes. Absolutely mountain small changes. Check this out. Dungeons from prior expansions will no longer appear when searching for dungeon groups in the pre-made group finder. For example, level 120 players will no longer see listed lower Blackrock spires. I love that they spell that out. In case you're like, who cares? Oh, right. And the reason this is a problem is because all these gold spammers and shit, they're selling from level 1s because they're getting banned constantly, right? So they're just fake characters. Level 1s, and they can only do Blackrock Spire because it's classic, right? So we will not see that anymore, thank God. Is Raider IO getting reset? I don't know. I assume it's not going to get reset until Season 2. That's going to be amazing. Yeah, it's just going to be so nice not to have to see like 10 of these every time I look for a key. Battle for Azerite Dungeons now automatically change you to a spec that matches the role you choose when queued. That was something that they did in Cataclysm because people were not taking any tanks to Heroic Dungeons, but I don't know why they need to care about that. I think they should just be, honestly, I think they should remove Heroic Dungeons. I don't think there's a purpose to them. Anyway, my account was compromised during Wrath and used by a gold farmer. Uh-oh. I absolutely love that filter. What do you mean? Oh, you mean that you won't see that? Yeah, the filter for lower Blackrock, right? When I got my account, I was level 78 and still wearing 70 gear and had thousands of gold. Wow, seriously? You actually got that shit? That's funny. That's pretty cool. Have you been getting your $300 carries? Nah, I haven't, dude. When an attempt to queue for an activity fails, this is probably another mountainous small change. When an attempt to queue for an activity fails due to party member eligibility, the group leader is now informed which party members are not eligible. Such a small but huge change. It's just shit like this. It's so nice. I think, where was the one that shows rewards? Or rewards, there's like a summoning change too. Have you been able to mess on the PTR? Is reaping on the PTR? To my knowledge, it's not, yeah. The GM took the gold I was carrying and said, sorry, can't keep this, but what they didn't think of was the auctions I hadn't sold yet. That same thing actually happened to me when I got hacked in Wrath. I got hacked in Wrath, and there was the guy put a bunch of stuff on the auction house, and when I got the character restored, they gave me all the stuff back. A lot of the stuff that was on my character was BOE. I had a lot of BOE gear on one of my characters, because there's a lot of BOE gear in Wrath. So I was able to get the BOEs from the auction house, and he restored me another copy of them. And the BOEs I had on were not equipped yet. So I had 3 copies of some of these BOEs. I was able to make a ton of money. But anyway. So mobile companion app, I don't know if anybody even still uses this, but I guess there's some new stuff coming for that. World and questing. This is, again, probably a massive change. Time to level from 1 to 110 has been reduced by approximately 25%. And the biggest split is looking like 60 to 80 at 40%, which is crazy. That's a big deal. I mean, I know people who are doing it in under 30 hours now, today before the patch, so 25% off that is going to be well under 24 hours now. Legion World Quest for High Mountain Tribe, Nightfallen, Army of Light, blah, blah, blah. So if you're still looking to get these reps because you didn't play in Legion, you were casual, whatever, then now you can get a better chance. Increased rep, that's good. Initial chapters of the war campaign now reward more reps. That's nice too if you're looking for those reps. Most world quests are no longer completable in a raid group. This is one of those changes that people are freaking out about. But again, do you think it's intended that when you find a rare who has barely more health than a dungeon boss, that 40 random people are just supposed to just get slammed together in a group and just kill them in 3 globals? I don't think that's what they wanted. So yeah, wonder if that includes heirlooms. It won't matter. Heirlooms just make it even faster. So, although reaping should be going up on the PTR really soon, it's about 6 weeks, right? They'll definitely be up before Christmas, I'd imagine. Rest areas have been added to Hook Point and the Mugambala. That's good. So that's nice. New flight point as well to Mugambala. User interface. Here's the thing we were talking about. Flight maps in Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor have been updated to higher resolution. I'll be interested in seeing that. Reputation rewards from world bosses and missions now use quality to indicate their potency. That's nice. Bag search. Who gives a fuck? Items which have stats that scale with your character's level, such as gems, now show their stats as maximum value. That's interesting. This is the good one here. Pending summons now show on raid/party frames. We noticed this when we were testing stuff on the PTR. It's actually a cool, really cool change. I'm really excited for this. With the Scrapper UI open, scrappable items will be marked with an overlaid icon. Smart. Location of the Scrapper is now on your minimap. We saw that in the PTR as well. Mythic Keystone Dungeon tab now shows the highest level Mythic Plus dungeon that was completed in time. I don't like this because I, again, don't think in time is all that matters. But regardless, you can still see it by mousing over a given dungeon in the interface. So that's nice. Inbound and outbound blocks will now show in the floating combat text. Okay. Responsiveness of the community's UI tab has been improved. Hopefully that's solving this problem where people are like going offline and online constantly when you're trying to fill a raid group. Upcoming calendar events are now shown in the community chat. That's cool. Alright, so some class changes. This is probably one of the biggest things on here. Again, a mountain of small changes. Area damage like Chain Lightning and Avenger Shield could now properly destroy explosive orbs. Huge, huge change. Prop Pallies everywhere rejoice. And Ellie Shaman. And Arresto, to be fair. That's such a big change. They just need to remove the community blacksmith and put it the way it was. Gotcha. Shield users can now block ranged physical attacks. Yeah, so this is not just a warrior thing. It's also for paladin too, so that's nice. Fix pathing issues that could cause some spells such as Frozen Orb to become stuck. There you go, Ice Block. Yeah. Troll Berserking was nerfed. Well, it's kind of evened out. I don't know. It's definitely a nerf for some situations, but buffed to 12 seconds, but nerfed to 10% haste. That's a nerf. And Blood Elf Arcane Torrent was nerfed to 2 minutes. 2019, we fixed Frozen Orb, yeah. Will Counter-Strike be able to damage explosions? Counterspell? What is CS? I don't know what that is. That happened to us in that siege run, Laugh Maffeo, yeah. Crow Crusader Shield? Clawing Shadows. What the hell is Clawing Shadows? If it's an AoE, if it's an area damaging ability like these, then yes, I guess so. Unholy DK, yeah, no idea. I imagine so, though. Anyway. Ephemeral Recovery redesigned. I don't know these traits, but this one is kind of sad, to be honest. They nerfed Self-Reliance, which was terrible. It was, like, so bad. But, whatever. Now it's even worse. Now I'll never use it. I was thinking I might use it for soloing, but 12 yards, I mean, that's... Oh, wait, no, that's a buff. I'm an idiot. This is not the trait I thought it was. When there's no enemies within... Yeah, this is actually nice. But regardless, I'll still never use it. Wonder if the realms will come up before... Yeah, I think so. I think they will. We'll check every once in a while. Self-Reliance is going to be great for ranged healers, though. Yeah, it's true. It's actually pretty good for hunters and stuff. Death Strike, rank 2. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is something that's actually going to affect us at max level. It's increasing the healing of Death Strike by 60%. Is that a buff for Death Knights? I don't know. You getting sick? Oh, yeah, I'm real sick. I'm very sick. Veteran of the Third War is now learned by all specs. So this is that change that we talked about. But I don't know. I don't know what this is. I don't know if there's a rank 3 of Death Strike or something. Don't forget to update all your add-ons. That's a good point. Let me do that, actually. Yeah, that's... I don't know... Hey, what's up, Jose? What's up, dude? I don't really know what this is, but... I don't... Either way, I guess it's interesting. Oh, that's for Frost and Unholy. Ah, okay. So it's not... Blood doesn't have Death Strike rank 2? Is that what you're saying? That makes sense. Flu is moving across the world. Yeah, it seems that way. Wow, so many updates for add-ons. Anyway. Also 10 less runic power. I think it was always that way, though, for them. But anyway, yeah, so obviously we've made a whole video on this topic. Really nothing to be worried about. Azerite traits, so take a look at this. So Bloody Runeblade, if you guys haven't seen this, Embrace of the Dark Fallen is gone. It's no longer in the game. Rip. I liked it, but it's gone. When Crimson Scourge activates, you gain 259 haste for 5 seconds and immediately gain 5 runic power. This is a great trait. I think it's probably going to be one of our best traits, if not our best. Haste is so nice, you know? Haste is the place for the friendly hardware, folks. It's for all Death Knights. Sounds too good to be true for Blood. Yeah, I don't know. Metro, do you prefer BFA or Legion Mythic Plus? Definitely BFA Mythic Plus, yeah. I wouldn't mind going back to Legion Mythic Plus, but I prefer BFA. This Frostwhelp Indignation is kind of cool. It got recently buffed. Pillar of Frost summons a Frostwhelp who breeds on all enemies within 20 yards in front of you. Each unique enemy hit by Frostwhelp grants you 35 mastery for 6 seconds. That's pretty cool. I'm definitely looking forward to trying that out now that I'm playing a bit of Frost. This trait might be my favorite, though. We'll see how it goes. I gotta test it, but I think it's gonna be our best healing trait. Icebound Fortitude heals for that much every time, and its cooldown is reduced by 15 seconds. Icebound Fortitude is a spell I barely use right now. So being able to make it into a healing CD, that would be very nice. That would be very, very nice. Finally, someone who agrees with me. Kulit Kamu Bengus di Uswamu Sakarang. Yeah, it is rare. You're right. Anyway, Blood. Bone Storm now heals you for 15% of your health. Hopefully everybody's seen this by now. Purgatory no longer clears on death. Who the fuck is taking Purgatory? And Will and Acropolis now reduces damage taken by 30%. By 30%. Below 30%. Was 35 and 35. So these are big changes that we already made videos on. But here's a big Frost nerf. Breath of Cinder Ghost damage decreased by 10%. Why don't I use Icebound Fortitude a lot? Because I feel like it's too long of a CD, and since it only reduces damage, I never get good use out of it. But now, like, since it, you know, like, most of the kit is about healing, right? Healing more frequently is good, so that's good. They didn't say anything about armor nerf for Blood. It's not on here, no. But I don't know why it's not on there, because it is on the PTR. I don't know. I think that's just omitted by accident. Here's a nice change for all Demon Hunters. Chaos Brand now triggers from all damage. So that's really nice. Hello, my lord. Pavel, what's up? Work. Anyway, let's see. Gaping Maw. Here's this one. This is the trait we were talking about before in the stream. Hour of Reaping replaces Gaping Maw. Gaping Maw was one that a couple people really liked, especially Tagore in the stream, but... Lesser Soul Fragments restore 467 additional health. And every 40 Soul Fragments you consume causes your next soul cleave to grant you a soul barrier. Maybe this is the strongest trait in the game now, huh? Hey, Scott. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Maybe this is the strongest trait in the game now. I don't know. Hour of Reaping. We're going to have to try it. Blocking range physical attacks is nice. Also, nice increase in gold rewards. Yeah, that seems cool. That is really neat, though. Soul barrier. Holy shit. Horde can get the new world boss first. Is that right? All right, off to a meeting. All right, see you, man. Hope you feel better. Oh, wait, that's me. Druid. Let's see, I don't know what Craggy Bark is. Let's look it up. Craggy Bark, I think it's one of the ones that I have on my Druid currently. Yeah, Bark, yeah, this is that shitty-ass one. Bark's gonna reduce man. This is terrible. It's fucking terrible-ass trait. So it's being reduced by, or it's being changed to like an amazing trait. Bust of Savagery. Consuming Gore grants you 140 mastery for 5 seconds and a 15% chance to activate Gore. So, like, you potentially might spam Gore back to back to back. That'd be so nuts. Red Paladin got a little buff. Nice. Bone Storm being 15% max heal is trash. That's really a very generous nerf. It could have been a lot worse, Mike. How long before servers go live? It says a couple more hours, still another 5 hours, but I don't believe them. I think it'll be up sooner. Is the US weekly reset always in the late afternoon? No, it's usually 11 a.m. Usually 2 hours ago. I don't know what any of these other ones are, but I'm sure they're good too. I feel like Druid has like some of the best Azerite traits overall, though. Twin Moons, that sucks. That's a big nerf for Bombkin. Stellar Flare damage increase. I wonder if that's going to change talents. What does Stellar Flare is on? Let's take a look. %15 wouldn't be bad if it was on a shorter CD. Maybe you're misunderstanding what's happening, dude. Like, it's only a change if you're pulling more than 5 mobs. So it's not like, it's not going to change unless you're like a top Mythic Plus player and you're pulling like 10 mobs all the time. Mythic Keystones can no longer be deleted. Yeah, we already talked about that. You didn't account for the time change at the end of daylight savings time. Ah, that's true. You're right. It's now 10 a.m. I forgot. You're right. The reset is 10 a.m. I didn't know that actually happened, by the way, but apparently it does. So let's see. Talents. So Stellar Flare. Oh, it's on the Twin Moons talent tree. So now people will probably just take... I don't know what Stellar Drift is. What? Why are people not taking this? I didn't even know this was a talent. This seems like it'd be extremely good. What the fuck? Cast while moving while within Starfall's area? Cause it's awful? How? It's like my... I played a bit of Bombkin and Ellie this weekend. And the thing I hate about Bombkin is they're so immobile. It's crazy. Hey, I was hoping you would be live. Yeah. Please let 8.1 be the time for Prot Warriors to shine. No, that's not gonna happen. Less damage? Yeah, I mean, I understand that. If it's mathematically worse, that's fine, but... 25% is too low. Oh, really? It was nerfed from Legion? That Bombkin talent was great for Mage Tower. Gotcha. Be positive, Metro. Heart. Yeah, I'm with you. Anyway, so I guess probably people will take Stellar Flare now. People use it a lot in raids. I mean, it sounds like a great talent, honestly. I did not know that talent existed. But anyway, let's focus on Guardian. All damage increased by 12%. Hype. Hashtag hype. At level 80, Guardian Druids now learn Stampeding Roar rank 2. Which reduces the cooldown of Stampeding Roar by 1 minute. Massive, massive utility buff. Having Stampeding Roar for every pack is going to be massive. Ursul's Vortex. It's crazy, crazy utility to give Bear. I am so excited for Bear. I cannot fucking wait for Bear. However, Resto may not have fared very well. Tranquility got a massive nerf. Huge, huge nerf. But 10% buff to Wild Growth. That's fine by me. I feel like Trank is not great in 5-mans. So I think this might actually make them even better in 5-mans. Let bears be free. Yes, I would agree. Bear, hey, Mads. You sleeping? You tired, dude? Hunter, don't give a fuck about Hunter. But apparently they got some new stuff. Marksman is a big change to Marksman. Survival, Harpoon no longer subject to the global cooldown. Mage we kind of care about. Cold Snap can once again used with Ice Block. Ice Block's not here though, so we can't use Cold Snap. I love Bear, man. Yeah, me too. Brainstorm. Okay, I don't know any of these things. These are traits, yeah. They don't have Master Blaster, Blaster Master, whatever it's called on here. But apparently it's not being changed. It's just being nerfed. So if that's the case, we might play Fire again. I love Bearmen too. What, like the Fulborgs? Fallborgs? How do you say that? I've never spoken that word. I've never spoken it right. Fulbargs? Foulbergs. Foulbergs, I think. Is that right? Anyway, Frost. All damage increased by 3 fucking %. What a joke. Frost Decay. Frost Decay is the one that needs a buff, not Frost Mage. Blizzard knows these are massive nerfs, by the way. If you guys haven't seen these, crazy, crazy nerfs. To kiting, of course. You don't do a lot of kiting anymore anyway, but... Metro's my Fulberg? Yeah. Morning, Metro. Not really, Kinster. Lol, keep trying. Thanks, man. I'll keep it trying. On this channel, people care about Death Knight. Edgy boys? Yeah. I'd be so much more interested in bear tanking if I had the Fulbarg Mage Tower form. Really regret... Oh, that's not a Fulbarg Mage Tower form, but yeah. Fulbalg? Fulbalg. Fulbalg. Alright. That's hard to say. Furbalg. Furbalg. Gotcha, yeah, okay. Monk, Crackling Jade Lightning increased initial tick and damage per tick reduced by 20%. Lol, stay bad, monks. Stay fucking shit, monks. Anyway, big changes to Brewmaster. If you guys play Brewmaster, you might want to look at all this stuff. I'm sure you guys have seen it already. Windwalker, though. Windwalker's already doing crazy damage, to be fair. So, 5% buff for Windwalker, they might be top. I mean, they're already, in my opinion, they're already top 3 melee. Alvaro Segnini. What's up, buddy? No, like Bowel. Like Gabaulaga. Gabaulga. Baulga. Stay shit, monks. Metro, yeah. Evening, everyone. Donald Trump. What's up, buddy? Big fan. Yeah, Windwalkers are gonna Rexon soon. Yeah, definitely. That stagger nerf is the same as Blood DK Bone Shield nerf. Ah, I see. Gotcha. I don't play Brewmaster. I'll understand that point for sure. All right, Paladin. Paladin Divine Seed Glyphs from Legion Order Hall are now accessible account wide. Hooray! Gives a fuck. Divine Revelations. No, okay, so there's a couple good traits here. Let's see. This is the one. This is the one. This is the one. Check this one out. Ephemeral Ward. Laying on hands grants a target 259 armor for 1 fucking minute. That is a big fucking trait. That's really cool. That's a really cool trait. And the reason that's a really cool trait is because some tanks really get a lot of value out of getting extra armor. Like that Blood Decay nerf to armor, a fucking Paladin hits me with lay on hands, I now have more armor than I had before. And that's only 259 at this low-ass item level version. I can only imagine what it would be like with 3 stacks of that. I am very, very interested in playing Holy Pally, and a big part of why, because of this. Holy Paladin spells and visuals have been updated. We're actually looking at it on MMO Champion. Let's take a look. If you guys haven't seen it. I don't use Starstruck Metro. Trump in chat. Oh, the streamer? I don't watch a lot of Hearthstone content, to be honest. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, here it is. Crazy looking Avenging Wrath. Unbelievably cool. Looks so cool. Make the WoW again. Yeah. Beacon of Light is great. It's like a nice, it's quite a quality of life change too, to be honest. So now you can actually see where your beacon target is. Beacon of Virtue is going to be weird though. Everybody's going to have it. Holy Light. Finally, we're getting this in the game. Looks great if you haven't seen it. It was on the beta and then was removed. Looks great. Super Saiyan Avenging Wrath. Yeah. Your best friend Heals vs. Babyface gave 8.1 a 3.4 out of 10 score. Of course he did. He's fucking casual. He's not going to play the game. Light of Dawn might be the best one, actually. Looks good, really good. I'm really excited for Holy Pally. I'm definitely going to be playing Holy Pally this patch. Got some rep buffs, which I think rep was pretty good, but I guess they could be better. Hand and Protector, this might be a big change as well. This is a big change for Prop Pally, because now one of their best utilities was nerfed pretty hard coming out of Legion, and now it's back to where it should be. So that's nice. Priest, sad to see it, but massive nerfs to Dix Priest. Damn, more Divine Storm damage, yeah. And he also got Greater Blessing of Kings changes, if you haven't seen this. This is kind of a big deal. Increased absorption by 9%, but can no longer stack. Greater Blessing of Wisdom no longer restores health, only mana, and can no longer stack. So, honestly, I didn't even know it restored health, but yeah, it's interesting. This is just a nerf, though. They should have buffed this, too, I think. But anyway. Oh, a new talent. I didn't see this one. When an ally within 40 yards falls below 25% health, you gain Avenging Wrath for 6 seconds. When an ally is slain within 40 yards of you, your redemption... What? What the hell? Oh, that's a PvP talent? Is it? Okay, I was gonna say. That is like the strongest talent in the video game if it's not. Let's see, PTR. Can we actually look at it, or how do you look at it? Paladin talents. I don't know how to look at the talent tree on the PTR. What's your opinion on Warrior Tank with new changes? They're definitely getting a lot better, but I still think they'll be the worst. Anyway, so Dix Priest, massive nerfs. Just crazy nerfs. Massive DPS nerf, massive healing nerf. Some nice buffs, though, too, as well. I mean, Body and Soul, these things are nice. Evangelism cooldown nerfed. Power Word, shield cost buffed. Rapture additionally, so that's good, I guess, but... Yeah, just big nerfs to Dix Priest. Sad to see it. It's a PvP talent, I think. Gotcha. I don't know how to, I don't know how to look, so... maybe there's on MMO Champion, actually. Focus Will stacks to 1. Is it a stack? Yeah, that's a good point, to be honest. I would agree it is not a stack, but... They have to have a talent thing. They always have one. Let's see what they actually have to say about this real quick. Yeah, they just have the math here. So it's nerfed everywhere. There's nowhere that it's not nerfed, it seems. Even a slight nerf. I guess that's to get to 110 though, right? Not, yeah, that's to get to 110. No, that's when you're at 110. Wow, so the first level is nerfed as well. That's interesting. Not like that was needing to happen, but... Anyway, yeah, I don't know where I'm going to find this talent thing. Probably not. Oh. Anyway, yeah, Holy was, I think they were kind of nerfed too, weren't they? Yeah, it looks like they were nerfed a bit too. But Shadow got massive buffs. Huge buffs. If you guys play Shadow, today's the day. You're going to be excited about that for sure. And then Rogue got big changes too. I don't really play Rogue, but the Shuriken combo was removed. So that's like, I will make your birthday party great again. Sweet, my birthday's not for a long time though, man. But anyway, subtlety? Subtlety? No, yeah, subtlety. Big nerf. Huge nerf. But anyway, Cap Totem. Buff to 40 yards, that's cool. Spirit Wolf when you're dead. I always thought it was, but I guess not. Azerite traits, some of the cooler traits in the game. Ancient Ankh Talisman. When reincarnation is off cooldown, your maximum health is increased, blah, blah, blah. While you're at full health, reincarnation cools down 50% faster. Absolutely insane nerf, or buff. Really cool. Very, very, very cool buff. Yeah, whatever. It's a new trait. It's not really a buff or a nerf, but I really like this trait. I'm very excited to see it. Subtlety, yeah. Rip Subrogues and Mythic Plus, yeah, that's it for those days. Tectonic Thunder. This might be one of the coolest new traits in the game. Earthquake deals additional physical damage instantly. And has a fucking 25% chance to make your next Chain Lightning instant cast. Are you joking? That's like the best trait in the game. I cannot wait to play Ellie. I'm very excited to play Ellie. No, I'm pretty sure this is a tier 3 trait. Z Genji. I don't think that the PvP talent change is a PvP talent because it's in the PvP section of the patch notes. Hey, Tokes, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I agree, Stefane. That's why I want to see it. Is there no way to look it up? Let's see. 8.1 talent. Oops. 8 divided by 1 talent calculator. Is this for the PTR though? Oh, I mean PTR is over, right? Can we see a difference? Morning Metro, discovering anything awesome? Yes, quite a lot actually. Yeah, this is definitely different. Okay, so where is the trait? What was it even called? I don't even remember what it was called. Ultimate Retribution. Do we see it? It doesn't seem like it's on here. So I guess it is a PvP talent. Yeah, there it is right there. It's a PvP talent. When an ally is slain within 40 yards of you, your redemption spell can now be cast while in combat within the next 20 seconds. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's way too strong for PvP or PvE. Why are you sniveling? Yeah, sniveling. Yeah, I am very sick. I should not be streaming right now, but it's patch day, so I'd be too hyped to sleep. Very ill. Anyway, big changes to Ellie, guys. By the way, I'm playing fucking Ellie, man. I'm excited about Ellie. I did it a bunch this weekend, and it's actually really fun even right now. But really cool new talent. I really like that talent. Earthquake range increase. That's cool. What else? This Ice Fury talent seems really cool. Lightning Bolt, so their single target damage should go up a bit, but it's obviously, you know, Earthshock's nerf, so whatever. Lightning Bolt plus Stormkeeper is now a lot better. Really cool. I think the coolest change here is that Flame Shock duration is increased to 24 seconds. That's pretty nice. I agree, Z Genji. I think they should be one of the best. One of the best for sure. Enhancement got a 5% nerf or buff. That's cool. More than that. I mean, look at all this other stuff. These are big buffs, aren't they? Enhancement gonna be like the best melee spec or something? I had 2 Caesars. Oh, what the hell? A 7-hour hospital stay. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. So I understand and hope you feel better, Metro. Well, I am not that sick, but yeah. Anyway, this is buffed. This is buffed to fuck here. Chain Heal. Healing increased by 33% combined with High Tide. Absolutely awesome talent. Let's take a look at the resto talent tree. So I'm assuming that this is still the old talent tree. Yes. Alright, so let's take a look at the new talent tree. How do you get to the patch notes? I can't find them. I'll link them in chat for you. Maybe I'll unbench my Resto Shaman. Resto Shaman's really good right now, honestly. Okay, so let's take a look. So this is competing. Every 0 mana you spend, obviously not going to be 0. Nice, thank you, no problem. Thanks for the go vote the other day, by the way. I haven't really been on since. We'll be on tonight. Yeah, no problem. Can you still get curve in 8.1? I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe. But yeah, this is a great. I think I'm going to use this for Mythic Plus now. This seems like it'd be really good. Because Chain Heal kind of sucks for Mythic Plus, but if it was better, it would make Resto Shaman a really good healer in Mythic Plus. And really, Ascendance is nice, but they already have too many CDs if you ask me. So I think I'll probably use High Tide. G-Invite. Oh, right. Mythic Keystones can no longer be deleted. Yeah, we talked about that earlier today. I think I'll make a clip of it. Anyway. You can the 22nd. What? New raid is the 22nd, yeah. Anyway, Warlock changes. Big buffs to Demo, apparently. I don't know anything about these things, so I won't look at them. But ahead of the curve. Oh, you can until the 22nd get that? That's cool. So Warrior, big change. Apparently, Battle Shout wasn't working for auto attack damage, so that's interesting. New traits. Avatar increases your mastery and instantly grants you Ignore Pain. That's pretty nice. That seems pretty nice. January the 22nd, yes. Martinus. That is the season 2's beginning. But yeah, obviously Prot Warriors buffs are huge, right? Ignore Pain is no longer subject to the GCD. That's a huge buff in itself. Shield Block recharge time reduced to 16 seconds. That's a really big buff. And Vanguard now increases stamina by 45%, up from 40, and 60% armor of strength was 50. So really big changes. Really, really big changes. I don't know where I think Warrior's going to be, but I still think they'll probably be the worst 5-man tank. Yes, you can get AOTC until January 22nd. I swear there's no way that Keystone change is going to stay. I mean, people are already raging about it, but I'm just really surprised people are so up in arms about it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It was being used for reasons that weren't intended in the first place, and it was like that. It wasn't like that at all in Legion, so I'm not sure why all of a sudden everybody's really attached to it. But yeah, it will be removed. Oh man, they're getting rid of my favorite Sin trait. Really? You're selling AOTC runs? Sweet, man. Biggest change is a general one. Awk. What is Awk? Block ranged? Oh yeah, block ranged. That's a great one. Yeah. Anyway, the PvP stuff is interesting. I didn't really look at it, but we could take a look at this. Reward bonuses from War Mode can now scale up above 10% when a faction was outnumbered. So that's why we saw that 30% thing on the PTR when we were on there. So now allies will get more bonus from War Mode, and they get a quest as well. If they're outnumbered, access to a weekly quest to slay 25 level 120 players. That's cool. To get more alliance in War Mode, right? You can also disable War Mode in a rested area now, so that's nice. So you can't really complain about getting camped anymore. Go to the doctor, dude? Nah, I gotta stream. It's off topic, but do you happen to have a community tab in WoW? I do, but it's like completely useless. There's no point. Hoping undeletable keystones will incentivize people to finish failed keys? Yeah, maybe that will actually do that. I didn't really account for that, actually. That might be one of the main reasons why that's happening so often. As a Warlock, I'm hoping they add more AoE options for Affliction. Gotcha. So a bunch of changes to Death Knight PvP, but we don't know anything about PvP, so there's no point. And then finally, obviously the multi-threaded changes are crazy if you're actually using Windows 10, but I am not. Let's take a look at some of the comments. People are complaining about stamina buffs for Warlock. It's like, alright, whatever. As a discipline police, I do not appreciate these nerfs. Sorry you feel that way, but Discipline was a bit overpowered, so. Let's see what else. The sniffling is so annoying. Sorry, man. Sub-Robe's getting cucked. Yeah, that's a big change. Big change for them. Blizzard is exactly why people quit playing your game on a daily basis. Why on earth does everything need to get nerfed when it isn't even broken? What the fuck are you talking about? I don't understand after 14 years how y'all can't even balance a game properly. Instead of nerfs, why don't you guys just buff the classes that are behind? Because then that makes the content too fucking easy. You can't just buff everything. That's stupid. So stupid. Do you have Windows 7? Yeah, I have Windows 7. Warrior and Paladin will be worse 5-man tanks. Lacking any source of displacement is just bad for a tank. Yeah, I would say Paladin's 5th overall as well. Very annoying, huh? Just blow your nose, Bubba? Can't, unfortunately. It's not gonna go away. I'm very ill, guys. Trust me. I'm running a fever. I'm very ill. I should not be streaming, but it's patch day. I'm gonna play WoW. I think Blizzard secretly puts these clever use of mechanics in so they can use it as the community figures out. Well, I know that's wrong, but also makes sense. Gotcha. It's Christmas, Metro. Buffs for you, buffs for me, buffs for everybody. Thanks for the present, man. Wow, this is great. Now we don't have consistently damage and we can't kill someone. Thank you, Blizzard. Now we can finally hodge and drop Consecrate on the feet and watch them burn by the whole big holy damage. Seems good. All right. I really enjoy Warrior gameplay, so I'm extremely hyped about the buffs. Whether they're worst or best, I don't care. I have a lot of fun. Nice. The GCD changes will allow for much more rage gen during the avatar window. Oh, that's cool. Wait, how? What GCD changes? What I don't get is people who complain about how hard BFA dungeon trash and want it to be easier, but then backtrack and complain about how specs are too weak. Yeah, it's unfortunate. At least Prot Warriors count as an extra DPS on 5-man. Shrug. Alright. Hey, Uber Lyft Red, what's up, buddy? Hope you feel better. Get some airborne. Nah, this is like actually illness. Anti-mucus shell. Yeah, that's what I need. Ignore pain off the GCD. Oh, but that doesn't generate rage. It consumes rage. I was confused. Makes me think WoW community don't know what they really want. Yeah, they definitely do not definitely do not know what they really want. Guardian Druid with Ursul's Vortex gonna dominate. I can't wait. At least there's a difference between my favorite Sin trait and objective best one. The best one isn't getting touched. Looks like Sin is gonna be the way to go for sure. Sweet. Because no World Wrestling Educational. Yeah, because now we can. Oh, I see. Now we can Thunderclap, Shield Slam instead of wasting a GD. Oh, I see. That makes sense. I didn't think about that. Right now, during Avatar, every other GCD is used on Thunderclap, and because IP is on the GCD, sometimes you're not using Shield Slam. I didn't understand that. I see. Prot Warrior tanks can be amazing in a 5-man situation if used correctly. Gotcha. So often during Avatar, you have 2 to 3 buttons you want to hit at the same time, one of them being Ignore Pain. I see. I did not know that. Thank you for that, Zed. Okay, so I think we've seen everything we're going to see there. The other main thing I wanted to do here today was read these questions. If you guys are not aware, let's go all the way back to the top. If you guys are not aware, they're doing a WoW Q&A. Okay? So I think what I'm going to do, I wanted to do this for a while, but I just always forget, honestly. WoW Q&A on Friday, so we can make a video or react to it on Friday as well. But regardless, what I wanted to do was read every single question and talk about them on stream and give my opinions on what the answer might be. And also, you know, have some fun along the way. Ask your girlfriend or wife to make you a nice cup of tea. Have neither. Prot Warrior feels horrible to play. That is the main issue I have with it. What the fuck? Just like a month ago, you were like, I love Prot Warrior. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna read through every question. And we're gonna answer every single one. 526, and they're gonna keep going. By the time we're done, it's probably gonna be like 600. So let's go. We're gonna read every single question. What will you do to change professions to make them worthy of investing again? Professions are already worthy of investing. They give the best gear in the game. The highest item level gear you can possibly get is now tied thanks to profession, and you know, they're looking at ways to make them even more lucrative. So it's clunky with IP and the GCD. One of it's off and feels like good to predict. Gotcha. Do you know when the server is going to be up? No. I heard people that main Prot Warriors are total chads in real life. Is that true? I'm not sure. After playing it a lot and other tanks, it felt slow and clumsy. It'd be tough to say what Azerite nerf to Thunderclap Demo Shot does, though. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm a chad. A hot toddy for your cold. Bourbon, honey, and lemon. Gotcha. Alright, so let's focus on this. What will you do to change professions to make them worthy of investing in again? I don't understand where the question is coming from, but professions are in a better state than they have ever been in. They give more powerful gear than they have ever. So maybe they could make more, I don't know, more cosmetic stuff that can be sold or something, but I'm not really sure what that person wants. For X equals 1 to 1 million, print shaman are broken and unfun. Wait, what? Oh, this is like a joke. When are you going to fix them? Shaman are not broken and fun is subjective. So if you don't like shaman, then I would recommend trying a new class. Several pages of feedback have been given regarding the changes to guild rank controls and alternatives to the current system. What, if anything, is being considered, and are you any closer to resolving this issue? Yeah, I imagine this is a big problem. So I'd imagine they plan on hopefully fixing this, but I don't know what the problem is. Okay, how are issues of class identity being addressed? Class identity feels very lacking this expansion. The loss of artifacts and class halls being traded out in favor of the fairly generic war campaign doesn't help. A lot of classes feel too homogenized and samey. My main is a rogue. I tried Ret on this character and have an arcane mage, and the classes feel very samey with the combo system. These three classes should feel nothing alike, and yet they do. This seems to be an issue with classes as a whole. Most casters seem to be unloading mana to wait for procs and then spamming your procs. Rinse and repeat. I don't think any caster is about unloading mana, so I'm not sure what this guy's talking about. I don't think all classes are bad. Demon Hunter still feels solid, but my Paladin doesn't feel like a Holy Crusader smiting evil. He kind of just feels like a slightly slower rogue with a two-hander. Arcane Mage kind of feels like a range spec for rogue. Okay. Some classes are fine, other than just have specs that are underwhelming. The whole idea of splitting classes into specs that are designed as individual classes seems to have been a mistake. Yeah, I could understand that. The whole splitting classes into specs, I agree. That's a mistake, I think. But I definitely don't agree that class identity feels very lacking this expansion. I mean, I think, you know, it's funny to hear this because one of the most common problems in the game right now is apparently the balance of classes. In fact, you know, this guy's not really talking about it specifically, but he's kind of alluding to it. So you can't have things be homogenized and samey and imbalanced. It doesn't make any sense. So. Servers just came up? Nope. Anyway, servers are not expected to be up until 3 p.m. PST. They probably will come up earlier, but we'll relaunch the game to make sure. What happened with the class changes for specs that were discussed as being in need of significant work that was too big for hotfix? Lots of changes look to be simple number tuning and don't look like they address the underlying issues that were acknowledged in previous Q&As. I mean, disagree entirely. The Shaman, especially the Ellie Shaman. Enhance, I don't know, that's mostly numbers, I guess, but the Ellie and Shadow changes are massive. Absolutely massive. They'll completely change how they function, and they will make them a lot stronger in all their content. So, don't agree. I think these are the changes that you're going to get, and if you're looking for any more, like basically a full spec redesign, then you'll definitely not be getting it. Will Fury Warriors ever be allowed to use or transmog one-handed weapons again? No. How can those of us who only PvP work towards earning our optimal or even preferred Azerite setup the way PvEers can? It's a good question. I don't know anything about PvP, but limiting yourself to only PvP is, you know, a choice that you're making. So, I guess the best option would be to make a PvP currency like they did for Mythic Plus. But as of right now, I don't think they have anything to announce. Hey, Boomtown, what's up? Are there any thoughts of loosening the personal loot trade restrictions, particularly in groups that are 80 to 100% guild? Obviously, I cannot answer this question, but I would hope that the answer is considering it, but I don't think they would because they do not want people split renting. That's you know, whether they say it is or not, it's killed split renting, so they do not want this. For Shamans, can we get Earthquake to proc the new talent Surge of Power? That would be really cool, but no, you cannot. That would be too powerful. Why Nightborn is still lacking in customization? It's not. When will I be able to progress my profession without doing Mythic Plus for Hydra Cores? Never. Go play the video game. The story for the Alliance and Horde shows a clear disconnect. We can do zeros, by the way, so I don't know what you're even talking about. The story for the Alliance and Horde shows a clear disconnect from the Horde, feeling vastly more explored upon. With the choices between Sylvanas and Sarafane clear, the Alliance are doing nothing close to the sort, and Tyrande is acting like Jaina did in Throne of Thunder. Anduin as Varian. What will we see for the Alliance story rather than repeating? Well, obviously they're not going to spoil the fucking story, so... Sorry, Kinraya, but you will not get an answer to this. Backlash and subsequent praise at BlizzCon about GCD reversions still seem extremely one-sided. especially when it comes to non-offensive abilities. These abilities were also added after the initial announcement. Can you expand on why the team thinks that part of the change is good? I would imagine they would say that they think the GCD changes make more impactful decision-making in combat, and I would certainly agree, depending on the spell. And I think one of the big changes for warriors, especially if you're a level 53 warrior, you might not be aware of this, but one of the big changes is, of course, ignore pain coming out the GCD and charge coming out the GCD. Really big changes for warriors. So if you have any other suggestions of things you don't think are working on the GCD, then let us know. Core and heroic now is 2. Oh, really? What's up, Metro? Paladino. Thumbs up, guys. Thanks. Quality content. Holy shit. Hey, what's up, Russian guy? Are you happy with the removal of Master Looter rules now that we have played under them for a full raid tier? Has it achieved the desired result from a dev perspective? Yes, it has. Is it the 13th or 14th? Because you guys have 2 different dates posted. Oh, yeah, this is obviously not a question for the Q&A. It was an error. It's actually going to be the 14th. That's Friday. Can you help us understand why something that seems like very simple talent tuning has taken so long for shamans? And also has not happened at all for many other classes that need it. Again, posting on a level 53. Hard to take it serious, but I'm not sure what you're talking about. I guess the 8.1 changes could have came in a hotfix if that's what you're suggesting. I can't answer that question, obviously. The problem with Prot Warriors, Demo Shout, and GCD. Gotcha. Class fun and class balance seem to be a major sore spot for the expansion with Tides of Vengeance onward. Are there any plans to improve class fun and class balance? No, as of probably 50+% of the problem is community perception and not something that you can change. It is an opinion that class fun is a problem. That is your opinion. Class balance is not I really don't think that's a problem at all. I don't know where people are seeing this, but I think they are looking a little bit too much at the Raider.io statistics. That is probably the entirety of their argument, and that is not realistic to the game. So no, there is no plans to change anything that is either an opinion or a misconstruing of facts. I don't know why this person posted this. Are there any plans to reduce trading restriction for full guild groups? We already answered this question. I don't care about Master Looter so much. No, there are no plans because they do not want people, trading gear that they, split running. That's what it's called. Will there be another mega dungeon like you did in Legion? Yes. Watch BlizzCon. Are you satisfied with the state of the class design as whole? Community seems to have a negative opinion on the topic. Class design never finishes. So no, we're never satisfied. Never satisfied. We're always going to want to make it better. But again, community having a negative opinion on this topic lately is very overblown. 4 to 6 more dungeons. Jesus Christ. That is not going to happen, my friend. There's already 10 dungeons. Bring more utility to some specs to see more diversity and higher Mythic Plus. Yep, I would agree. The issue of racials is still becoming a huge problem in BFA as well. Horde Mythic Plus and Mythic Rating has a huge bonus to the racials provided. Arcane Torrent making Prophet of Zul's fight noticeably easier. That's true. How we addressed a clear imbalance of racials. The Alliance is failing big time, and the numbers from Mythic Uldir shows this. I don't agree that this is why, honestly. If you think the reason there is less Mythic Uldir clears on Alliance, you think the reason is fucking racials, then I don't. No, the answer is no. When is the content patch dedicated towards player customization? Never. Content patches always contain extra player customization. These things come out regularly throughout the years. I agree, not enough dungeons. I don't know how you guys could say that. 10 dungeons is more than we've ever really had, so it's not going to be any more until the next patch or whatever. When are we going to see seasonal Mythic Plus rewards that match other endgame content like PvP, blah, blah, blah? It's supposed to be an endgame equal to those systems, but it has been completely ignored despite its popularity. Pretty sure Season 2, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some kind of thing at the end of Season 1, so. The same 10 is just ugh. I mean, that's how it's always been, man, honestly. Yo, Metro, the forums are a dark place. Yuka, how's it been? Long time no see. I don't know about having nothing to do with ratios, but we have seen guilds are strong as method faction change due to beneficial ratios. It definitely has a small amount to do with ratios, but if you're talking about thousands of guilds, they're not all fucking horde because of ratios. I promise you that. Thought of another reason I'm going to miss Infested, that it changes each week. Plays into how it's going to route in a week. That's true. I'm sure the new effects will as well. Horde Raiders take it more serious. Yep, I agree. I feel like dungeons vary so much based on key level. I can barely keep up. Gotcha. Anyway, back to this. Are there any plans to fix Guardian Druid? Yes. Look at the patch notes. The Method guys said that they won't take a Druid healer into Mythic rating. Tell us why that is okay. Because you'll never have perfect balance for every single spec and class in the game. So it is their prerogative to take what they believe to be their best chance to succeed. That will not change. Regardless of if it's Druid or Monk or whatever. There will always be a class that is in that situation. Are there any plans to bring BFA to mobile? I hear you guys have phones. No, the game is too big. It would not work on mobile. Is it the 13th or the 14th? It is the 14th. Why is this days after the patch release? Because they know that there's going to be a lot of questions coming with the patch. Why, after so many complaints about Enhanced Shaman being broken and not enjoyable to play, have you decided to not do any real substantial changes to the spec in over 6 months? I can't really answer that question, but I imagine the answer is because it's your opinion. I'm excited to play a bit of Druid. Sweet. So with the no keys, delete equal less good keys equal less invites for non-meta specs. I don't know, it was the same way in Legion, so I'm not really worried about it. Hey guys, Prot Warrior here. Can't wait for tomorrow. Gotcha. Looks poorly on these people that do no research before asking questions or complaining. Yeah, it certainly does. Why do we pay for full expansion if it's not actually ever finished? Shouldn't you charge $5 for it when we incredibly slowly pay the rest? I would be fine with that. Yep. If it was monthly, you paid per patch instead of per expansion, I think that'd be better. But again, it's your opinion that it's actually never finished. They have different definitions. My question has to do with the old Azeroth. I genuinely believed allied races are a great idea for this game, especially from someone who loves leveling. The only drawback is that the Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor are still being played like it's Cataclysm. Would the development team be willing to update the world one more time? I feel the story could be how each zone is rebuilding after Cata. This would be a great. I would love this. I would absolutely love this, but even if they were planning on doing it, they're not going to talk about it today. That's not an announcement for a Q&A about a patch. Depending on where you live, in the US, it will be the 13th. No, it's always going to be the 14th. It's just a typo. Instead of nerfing / buffing racials, would it be possible to turn them off in instances, since the biggest complaint I'm aware of in regards to racials have to do with instance PvE and PvP. No, we feel like racials are an integral part of the class design and selection process, and it would be better to just make them more balanced instead of just turning them off. Several pages of feedback have been given regarding the changes to guild rank controls. This guy asked the same question twice. Will we see a return of the raid missions on the mission board? I kind of miss free loot rolls every other week. I bet you do, you fucking casual. No. What is the enhancement shaman rework that was promised in the Q&A right after BFA launched? Where is it? Check out the patch notes. All of these changes in 8.1 could have been done via hotfix. Sorry you feel that way. Looking forward to do the Blood Elf Heritage scenario. Thank you for giving us more story / history. We have gold eye option now. Is it possible with the cleansing of Sunwell for Blood Elves to also get their high elf blue-violet colors? No. Don't ask again. If it was previously mentioned by Yistons back in September that new ways to obtain vicious saddles were being worked on 8.1, what are they? That got delayed. Sorry, it's not happening. I don't know. Maybe it is. Is there a way we can address players who leave Mythic Plus without finishing the instance? They tend to ruin the players' keys who wanted to get their weekly done. Yes, there is a way. Check out my latest video on the topic. There's many ways, but none that Blizzard is willing to do. How do you justify leaving this game in shambles for 4 months? We did not leave it in shambles. That is your opinion, likely an opinion formed by somebody else. You cannot think clearly. Why did you decide to remove options to obtain Azerite gear in 8.1? What? Having a currency that takes months to pick a specific piece while encouraging players to keep any Azerite gear they obtain instead of trading it when they can. Feels like an extremely short-sighted change and further punishing to players and organized ratings who won't be able to keep any of their Azerite because they want to benefit the raid team and trade off their Azerite. You are being so fucking entitled, it's unbelievable. I cannot even believe this question is being asked. Why did you decide to remove options to obtain Azerite armor in 8.1? I'm pretty sure everybody wanted a fucking vendor. You got a vendor, so that's it. That's not going to change back now. When are the PvP gear vendors making a return? Never. When will the Alliance get to play High Elves as an allied race? Never. So you wanted flying so people wouldn't get ganked? So you wanted flying so people wouldn't get ganked from the air or something like that. But since the world is dead, anyhow, does it matter? That is absolutely nothing to do with why flying is in the game. Will there be further balancing with regards to affixes in Mythic Plus? The sheer number of caster / range mobs makes Sanguine endlessly irritating. We're looking to continually tune Mythic Plus, especially with the fixes in certain dungeons, but the sheer number of caster / range mobs making Sanguine endlessly irritating is intended. Sanguine was far too easy in 7.0 and onward, and we needed to make it a little bit more interesting. Is there an update on the guild permissions and UI? Yeah, we talked about this already. When will you guys actually take a look into classes specs to make them feel whole and complete again? We're trying to make classes and specs the best they can be, and we disagree that they are not whole or complete. If you do not like the class or spec you play currently, I would recommend trying a different one. Why did you lie about RP servers and cross realms? Why do you post the most stupid, retarded comments over and over again? Questions, and more questions. Oh god. Okay, it's not that long. Will female undead get their long hair options, a la Void Elf style, without tendrils, of course? I would love to roll a female undead option. We're always looking into adding more, cosmetic options for races, but we like how undeads have looked for the last 12 years, so we're probably not changing that. Do you intend on adding Night Elf Paladin somewhere down the line? No, I will not be reading all this. Post shorter comments. Do you believe balanced specs for Mythic Plus? Do you balance specs for Mythic Plus? Yes. There seems to be a huge disparity between Resto Shaman and Holy Priest and the rest of healers in Mythic Keystones. Holy Priest currently perform poorly because they're on the same class as Discipline Priest. Holy Priest itself is not actually that bad, but Discipline Priest is just far better. Resto Shaman is subject to really unfounded criticism. Their big problem was single target healing, and that has been buffed in multiple ways in the last 3 months. So yeah, absolutely no problem with Resto Shaman. I would stop letting other people form your opinions for you, and go try Resto Shaman out on your own. I think you'll find it very good. Island expeditions. Currently, island expeditions in normal and heroic are over before the end, with the last invasion event happening right as it completes. Are the harder difficulties intended to be the primary way we encounter the final version of island expeditions? This is being adjusted in the patch. Look at the patch notes. When will you have your best developers back to work on the game and not mobile crap no one here wants to play? When you stop acting like a fucking idiot. Are there any steps being taken to improve Mythic Plus pugging experience? Currently, dungeons are extremely grueling and punishing for the casual player. It feels like without voice chat and coordination, group just falls apart. Then join groups that are coordinated and use voice chat. But yeah, obviously this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart, so I don't think they'll be answering that, but the big problem is the pseudo-elitism that we talked about. Are you happy with the difficulty of the Mythic Keystone dungeons in BFA compared to Legion? Yes, our goal was to make the dungeons rely more on the affixes, and I think we have accomplished that, but obviously some dungeons were a bit overtuned, and that's why we are continually addressing them. Several pages of feedback have been given regarding the changes to guild bank. Is this seriously the same fucking comment over and over again? Somebody's like trolling with this, I guess. This just in, there will always be a meta, and folks who prefer, despite other viable options. Yeah, sorry, I want to get through all these comments. We're only 59 through 527, so it's gonna take a while. Are you ready to admit this expansion is beyond redemption? No. And as for the storyline, just kill off both faction leaders and heroes and start over. Congratulations. You've hit the same point Game of Thrones did, where I hate every character in the story. Oh, you mean where it's the most popular show that's ever been on television? Sweet, that sounds good to me. Are you ready to admit this expansion is beyond redemption? No. Are you ready to play the video game? As a mage, why should I keep playing Battle for Azeroth? Because you enjoy Battle for Azeroth, you enjoy the content, you enjoy the structure of the game, you enjoy the content as a mage, etc. Nerfs to Frost and Fire. Frost actually got a buff. Fire is, I don't know, arguably not nerfed either. Arcane ruined and now mindless to play. No communication for the class ever. Again, that's an opinion, but I don't know anything about Arcane. What is there that I should keep playing for? Because you like the video game. Hopefully your class is not the only reason you play the game. Are you still trying to improve your communication with the player base? Yes. Any plans to change the play model for this game since you divert resources away from development into pet projects? No. Will there be a more reliable way for crafting professions to acquire Expulsum in the future so crafting gear is less reliant on the RNG of the scrapper? Yes, you should probably have checked out the PTR. You could now get Expulsum like considerably faster. Could you clarify how random number generators work? Sometimes it feels like there's good luck prevention. No, it's just random. Don't worry about it. If we told everybody about how the randomness works in the game, then it wouldn't be random. Is class spec fantasy still a guiding principle? I missed the class specific quests from Legion. We missed them too, and we are looking into ways to make more class specific content, but it was a very difficult resource hog to do as much as we did in Legion. So unfortunately, you know, we had to step back from that a bit. Ian, why won't the developers allow Azerite armor to swap traits when swapping specs? You're not replying to Ian, you're replying to Liam. We Mythic Raiders have more gear in our bags than ever before, and it's out of control. That's what we want. We want players to collect multiple pieces of Azerite gear and mix and match them appropriately like you would have done with legendaries. We do not allow the Azerite armor to swap traits when swapping specs because we do not want them to feel like a talent tree. We want them to feel like gear. Any plans on implementing a payfinder achievement where our sub-dollars are time-gated to you just like your Pathfinder achievement is to you? No. Any chance of growing up? With all the backlash with other game studios releasing unfinished games, engaging in deceptive marketing, and extremely damaging public relations scandals, is Activision Blizzard concerned about their own IP facing even more backlash? This is a Q&A about the patch. What steps is Activision doing to not repeat same or similar mistakes? This is a question that is not ready for a patch Q&A. Just for clarity, the Q&A will take place on Friday, December 4th. Apologies for initially listing the wrong day. You don't have to apologize to me, Bornak. What the addition of Azerite gear vendor for Mythic Plus? Are you considering adding more vendors? I personally enjoy slowly building up currency to purchase exactly what I want over solely random loot. No, we do not want to add vendors for every type of content because then the game will not feel like it's worth playing until you get the piece. The reason that we added vendors for Mythic Plus especially was because there was basically no way to get extremely powerful gear. Oh my god, this guy again. Instead of placating the whales, Jesus Christ, with pet toys mounts every patch, can we have meaningful and impactful changes instead? Alright, we gotta look at this guy's account. $360, better than I expected. Not rated. Oh, he does a lot of PvP though, so that's good. Oh, he's got the PvP gear, so yeah. Anyway, no, we can, as we cannot quantify meaningful and impactful changes, we think we're doing quite a lot of them. We cannot help you with this. 2 questions. Why was Life Tap removed? I don't know. I'm not a Warlock developer. Will Pathfinder 2 be released with a new raid? It'll be released with 8.2, as they said at BlizzCon. Hello, are we going to address the monopoly that rogues have on AoE stealth? It makes it a need to Mythic Plus to some extent, and that is not something completely fair for other utility classes. I would like to see more utility options for more specs and classes. Are we ever going to see an updated UI to the LFG window? It feels archaic to some extent. Give us some filters for Mythic Plus or anything along those lines. They've added a lot of updates to the LFG window in the last few years, so I don't know. More are coming, I'm sure. Time limits on Mythic Plus have created a large divisiveness between players and their characters. If you don't play X class, it is infinitely more difficult to join a group pug. If there's anything being done to at least disrupt the meta, no. The meta is the meta because of the people playing the game, not the developers. They will try to make the meta less restrictive, but realistically, it is defined by the top individuals only. So if you want to worry about the meta, then go prove that Prot Warrior is viable and show people that it is, and then the meta will break on its own. Ian, why is Azerite gear being made more complex with more rings? Most of us already dislike the system, and now it'll require more simming than ever to get our best gear set. Because you guys, the same people who are saying this, complained that the Azerite gear was not a very good system and that it lacked the depth and complexity that the previous systems had. So now, adding more rings makes the gearing even more unique and even more, hopefully more interesting for you players. If you're only worried about maximizing, then I feel bad for you because that is not the purpose of the system. One of the key things I had loved as a PvP player in older expansions was being able to target and buy specific PvP gear from a vendor. Now, with the new Azerite vendor being added in 8.1, could we get a similar vendor added for PvP gear? I think they are considering this, to be fair, but if they're going to announce anything, it would probably be this. Are you content with the changes to enhance, or can we expect more meaningful design changes in the next patch? The enhanced changes were our first round of making enhance, a more fun and interesting spec, but class changing never stops. Class design is always happening, so yes, you'll see even more changes over the next few years. When can Paladin expect more gameplay improvements? If you don't like the way Paladin plays right now, I'd probably try a different class because actually they're very balanced right now. I asked this question last time and they did say they are working on improvements to LFG window for Mythic Plus Keystones. They first mentioned this back in Legion. This guy is replying to somebody else. Are we going to see more customization options for player characters? Customization options are things that really affect the art team, really affect the skeleton structure of the player model, and are actually a lot harder to implement than you might think. So while we're always looking to add more, we have nothing to share at this time, and realistically there probably won't be any new hairstyles or anything like that. It would probably be more like tangible things like eye colors. Do you feel Azerite is doing an adequate job in replacing the 4 systems with power from Legion that we don't have in BFA? This is your problem. It was never explicitly stated that they would replace 4 systems of power, but we do. Netherlight, Crucible, and Legendaries, yes, we do feel like they are replacing those very easily. Artifacts are something else entirely, and they were never going to replace that, and tier sets are not in any way related to legendaries, or related to Azerite gear in that matter either. The only reason tier sets are gone is because they were a stale situation that was forcing players into playing a certain way no matter what, and they needed to be removed in order to make more slots available for Azerite gear. Follow-up. Currently, Blood Decay accounts for over 75% of the tanks in high-level Mythic Plus keys. Most believe this is because of their self-sustain. Is there any plans to give other classes like Druid that ability? They're trying to make tanks more balanced every patch and every week, really. But the reason 75% of the key... I'm glad this number has gone down, because it used to be like 99. Anyway, 75% of keys in high level are done by Blood Decay. The reason is because people are all about meta, and they don't care to play what they enjoy. They only play what seems to be the strongest. Can you make those changes to work on wands and daggers as well? What changes? Why did you present the Night Elf Warrior story so poorly and make what is supposed to be a vengeance victory arc for the Night Elves a horde-favored victory, showing the power-up weak and ineffective? Why did you think treating Night Elf fans like chopped liver is okay? Are you assured we won't unsub, or do you think we'll just roll horde and keep giving you money? Honestly, if you're this worried about lore, then it's probably time to go outside for a bit. But realistically, we think we did a good job with the Night Elf story, and if you don't like it, sorry to hear that. When will we receive the hide glove options as promised? Oh, the hide gloves options. That's being worked on, I guess? Never? I don't think that was ever promised. Will the Night Elf Warrior customization work on Demon Hunter as well? Yes. Are there any plans to improve the performance of lower ranking tank classes? Yes. Have you not looked at the patch? Could you told us about 8.1.5 ETA, please? No, we do not release 8.1.5 PTA or ETAs this early. It is not even on the PTR yet. There are new pets available, but if you were actually a smart individual, you could probably hazard a guess. There are new pets available for hunters in 8.1. But some other popular models, such as Norura from Argus, is still tameable. Any plans to change that in the future? You want us to remove tameable options? No, we have no chance. We have no plans to change that. Good question. None of the other talents in that row about choosing single target versus AoE. That's a response to somebody else. When will Zandalari unlock? As we said, they will unlock when 8.1.5 comes out, and that will be sometime after the conclusion of the entire raid storyline. Are you guys working on any kind of system to punish people who abandon groups in the middle of Mythic Keystones? If not, would that be possibly a thing to consider? I can't imagine they're going to answer this question, but if they did, I'd be extremely excited. Realistically, you know, that's why I made the video I made, because Blizzard's not going to do this. It needs to be on the person in the dungeon themselves, and it needs to be on third-party websites like Raider.io. When can we expect to start seeing more viable talent choices for both raids and dungeons, rather than just swapping between two for activity? You know, we're trying to balance talents and make them as viable as possible, but you'll never have options that are viable equally for both raid and dungeon. The content is just too different, so if you have any suggestions, let us know. Any plans to address the disparity between Mythic Plus / Keystone risk versus rewards? A 10 Keystone and Legion had 3 affixes. A 10 Keystone and BFA had 4, yet the relative reward from 10 hasn't increased. This is a misnomer. It has 4 affixes technically, but the affixes were nerfed massively, so... well, the tyrannical affix was nerfed massively, so... No plans to change that. We like the way it's working. When will Hunters get a new stable? 6 pages isn't enough space, and there is still so much I want to tame, but I cannot. Is there any way you guys can make a Hunter collection tab? Yeah, maybe they're working on this. I don't know. Realistically, 6 pages not being enough, that's probably a you problem, though. Probably not until the expansion. I don't know who they're talking to. But with Halinka coming back onto the team right before the promised 8.1 changes that seem lacking to many, is there a longer-term plan for combat in WoW's future that is bringing larger changes to the game as a whole that made more extensive changes redundant? I imagine Halinka is back because they needed somebody to be in charge of it entirely. Ian could not do all of this by himself, so... You know, nothing's going to change about how it's parsed, but hopefully it's an easier process to work with now when there's a guy who's exclusively in charge of it. Will 8.1 hit PTR before the long holiday? No. Could the server character cap be removed? No. Will the Alliance get an actual win that is unquestionably total and in being a victory on the same level as Teldrassil and Lordaeron was for the Horde? Wait, what? You destroyed the fucking Undercity. Is that not good enough for you? So if so, then you're also attacking the goddamn capital of the Horde currently, so I don't know what else you want. Do you think that Mythic Plus 10 in terms of spec representation will ever be balanced? Nope, it's impossible. It's no secret that just a few specs make up the majority of representation in the current season. Yep, that's how it was in Legion, how it was in MOP CMs, how it was in WOD CMs, even how it was back in TBC and all that. So, nope, 5-man dungeons, unless you make more players able to join them, they will always be imbalanced. How can Night Elves be made to join the Forsaken? Why are they willingly joining the very ones who killed them and bring a holocaust upon their... What the hell are you talking about? Is this actually happening? I have no idea. When can we expect to see playable Zandalari Trolls? 8.1.5. It's frustrating to see one of the biggest selling points of the expansion still not available to players. I would definitely sympathize with this, but it was definitely not the biggest selling point of the expansion. Azerite, or what the fuck? Allied races was one of the biggest selling points, but yeah, this is not the case. It's not the trolls alone. Any chance that core crawl, mining pick, and other non-moggable items can become transmoggable in the future? They're probably hesitant to make non-moggable items more moggable because they do not want characters looking absurd. Where are the shaman changes that couldn't be done in time for BFA's launch and couldn't be implemented via hotfix before 8.1's release? They are in the patch notes. Check them out. When you're removing tank defensives like Dancing Rune Weapon, when are you removing tank defensives? Dancing Rune Weapon is not a tank defensive. It's a tank offensive and defensive, so it should be on the GCD. And Hand of the Protector, I could argue, should be off the GCD, but it's in line with other heals for other tanks, so it probably won't be removed. When are you adjusting tanks to not be healer target dummies when you learn how to play a tank? Ian and Lore both play shamans, and yet shamans get no love. How is that possible? Check out the patch notes. I think you'll see substantial shaman changes. Why has gold been so hard to get in this expansion? And are there going to be ways to earn an 8.1 without having to resort to weekly old raid runs to be able to repair our weapons and armor? I mean, if you are making this little gold that you need to do this to repair your weapons and armor, then you probably should stop dying as often as you are. I don't know what to tell you. With the change that fist weapons can be transmogged into one hand, and actually I do know what to tell you. They're massively buffing the amount of gold you're getting from World Quest, so problem solved. So with the change that fist weapons can be transmogged into one hand or vice versa, can Fury Warriors be allowed to transmog two? No, they cannot be. They do not want Fury Warriors looking like they're not using two-handers. That's the whole point of the spec. Why is there a lack of meaningful character progression outside of gearing progression, i.e. lack of something to work for that has value and isn't just cosmetic? Some example would be skills with items. I mean, this is exactly what Azerite gear and the Azerite farm is in general. So outside of gear progression, I mean, gear progression is character progression, so I'm not sure what else you would want. As most Culturians in-game use a standard human model instead of the larger counterparts, will we be able to choose which type of model we want? No, there will be separate races. Will there be more character customization options available in the future? I'm no developer, I'm aware, but I can't say that this can take too long to make or take up that many resources and could have a very positive impact. Yeah, you're wrong. You should have stopped at I am no developer. You don't know anything about how long it takes to make these types of changes, so yeah, I think we could all agree that we could use some more hair, facial hair, face. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool, but it's a lot of effort, I'm sure. So, no, won't be happening anytime soon, but they always are looking to add more. Will of the Alliance, specifically the Night Elves, get their vengeance on Sylvanas and the Horde, as the title of this patch and all advertising of it portrays? Or is it true that Sylvanas will essentially be given a pass on all that was done, as Alex Afrasabi stated in the interview with Blizzard Watch? I think you got to start looking at both sides of the conversation and not worrying about the specifics as much. If you're not interested in the lore from both sides, both perspectives, then you're not going to be satisfied no matter what. The fortified Mythic Plus affix seems to be universally less liked than Tyrannical. Is there any interest within the team to rebalance the relative power of Mythic Plus, and specifically these two? Nope, this is exactly how it was in Legion. Tyrannical was the opposite. There's always going to be one that's favored. That's just how Mythic Plus is always going to work. And I'm glad that you think Tyrannical is great. It makes Mythic Plus actually interesting. Good. I mean, Tyrannical is definitely a little bit easier than it was in Legion, for sure. Since the Burning Legion is now defeated, can we maybe expect the Eridar to become a potential allied race in the future? No, and I do not believe for a second that the Burning Legion is defeated. Titan Forging gear. Titan Forging makes gear feel incredibly unrewarding. This is a contradiction. Is there any possibility for the development team to reconsider their stance on this subject? Nope. Considering you just said something that's a literal contradiction, that will not be a justification for changing Titan Forging. As part of plans for better communication, could we hear from devs in addition to Ian during Q&A or on a different video format? I love hearing Ian's reasonings on things, but it would be interesting to hear from people like Alex on lore. Yes, I agree. We would love to have more people participate in these Q&As, but they're very busy, and currently Ian is the only, he's the man in charge, so he's the one to be doing these. Oh, this is Jugs. To further add on to this, many of your fans have been playing this game for a very long time. What did we miss here? Huh. Many of us warriors are upset with... Oh, this is the guy. Yeah, of course. He's the one who's asking for single-minded fury. It's not going to happen, sorry. Are there currently any plans to focus more character progression and classes as a whole? I feel there's been neglect in handling classes, and Azerite armor does not fix the lack of such progression. Definitely disagree. Azerite armor and other sources of gearing, unique gearing options that give you, flexibility in your spec, and they are a perfect fix for such progression. But classes, I can totally understand. It does feel like you don't play a class anymore; you play a spec. Now that Mythic quality Azerite gear is accessible outside of Mythic Raid, is there any plans to lower the requirements to raid Mythic? Flask, raid size, etc. No, there are not. Considering the amount of resources and time required to raid Mythic is way too much for the reward, it is not. It's definitely not at all. Feels like spamming Mythic Plus is way better for gearing. It's better for gearing up to a certain degree, but the best gear still comes from Mythic raiding, so that is how they want it. Can we get unique Nightborn attacking animations? That's the only thing that prevents me from playing one. I personally do not enjoy Night Elf animations, and them having those animations do not represent. Yeah, that's regrettable, for sure. Not making new animations for the races sucks, but... Nope, that's not going to change. They're not going to go back and do that. Can we please take a look at trade restrictions and guild groups, especially in Mythic raids? No, we cannot, because then people will continue to do split raids and make the content too easy too quickly. You did not announce any new allied race since Maghar Kultirans. Will we get allied races during Battle for Azeroth? It's a good question. I don't know about that one. Can't answer that. Realistically, I would say no, but maybe. A lot of Blizzard fans have been making their views known through outlets like YouTube likes. Yeah, this is the dumbest thing that you could ever do. What is the devs' response to seeing such a high ratio of dislikes on an 8.1 YouTube video? Makes me think that some big YouTuber told them to do it. So, no credibility to that. A few classes, e.g. Shadow Priest, blah, 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 were slated for a rework for 8.1. A couple of the classes were reworked in a form of talent tuning, as contrasted with more core changes. Is this a long-awaited rework? Yes. This is a very big deal. Changing some of these specs and classes in this way took a lot of effort and balance, and even though class design is never ending, this is absolutely what we had in mind for 8.1, but more stuff will be coming in the future. Are there any changes being made in regard to representation for both factions and decision-making levels of this game? That's an interesting question. Maybe, considering they added this new, like, you can betray Saurfang quest. If there are, why is it that all the talking heads in Blizzard reps who direct the game and its story are all Horde players? It's just a coincidence. Doesn't matter what they play, they work on the game, they get paid to work on the game, so... Class design is a major hot-button issue in BFA currently, specifically in utility, with certain classes / specs outperforming the rest. Yes, utility is a big problem in BFA, and some people are really lacking utility. So I'm sure they don't love it, but you know they're trying to make the utility balanced enough for all different types of content, not just for Mythic Plus. So it'd be impossible if you gave. You either have to homogenize every spec in the game, or I don't know. There's no winning here, unfortunately. So many comments, but obviously I want to do this. I'm going to make a video out of this. What happened to the 8.1 class changes you promised? That was in the patch. PvP context and some availability to PvE. Shamans, especially Elemental, still lack meaningful defensives. They're either too long of a CD or frankly do not do enough. Well, Astral Shift is the strongest CD in the game. It is the longest CD too, though. As a player, I have to make the choice between a defensive or a utility, making me irrelevant in any high PvP gameplay. I could feel you. I don't know. Probably not, but... I mean, it was like that for all... Shaman's always been like that. That's why I said in my last healing tier list, it does feel like Reincarnation is baked into their defensive kit, which makes them really bad in some situations. Many classes and specs currently felt easy, felt really shallow, boring to play because of the limited abilities, not to mention passive talents usually perform better than active ones. Can you expect more ability to be added in a future patch? I mean, if you're worried about something being shallow or boring, and then at the same time you're admitting that you only care about which ones perform better, I mean, whose fault is that? There's like a ton of active abilities in every talent tree, so go use them. Yeah, that's the answer. I mean, they're not going to add like 10 new abilities to any spec, though, that's for sure. Some ratios such as Nightborn and Maghar Orc are incredibly undertuned in both PvE and PvP. Are there any plans to make them and other current future ratios more in line with each other? Considering the difference between like the top race and the lowest race is like 50 DPS, no. What are you going to do to improve communication with players? The whole "we're going to get better at this" loses its meaning. Yes, I agree. I'm sure they have an answer for this. I think I cannot answer this question for them, though. Hey, Josh, what's up? I'm pretty fired up about the Pally B-Res. Yeah, that's only for, that's only a PvP talent. First off, I appreciate the chance for Q&A. Thanks, no problem. We've been told multiple times that this is not a retread of Mists of Pandaria, but at this point, even the patch cycle is the same. Well, the patch cycle has nothing to do with why it might be compared to Mists of Pandaria. I mean, that's nothing to do with it. At what point would you acknowledge that this is a retread? It's not. Shut the fuck up. The time I spend playing now is somehow inferior to the time I will spend playing patch 8 last. It's the same $15. I think we all deserve to know what it is we paid and are paying for. You're being way too demanding, honestly. Way too specific. Yeah, it's a PvP talent, Jimmy. When are Cold Tyrants and Zandalari coming? Will they require a patch in 8.1.5? Yes, they will. Will other already released allied races get improvements on customization? Probably not. Are there anything you could say about future allied races? Not at this time. This is a patch. This is a patch Q&A, not an announcement Q&A. Allied races. The big thing for this expansion. When are you going to tell us which ones are coming next? Probably, maybe in the next patch's Q&A. Salen, if so, when? Probably never. Junk Gnomes, never. Sethrak, never. How many more allied races are on the way? Nothing to announce at this time. Will certain classes ever be allowed to step into different roles? No, we don't want to do that because then everybody's going to play a rogue tank instead of a death knight tank or something. It's too many options. You don't want it to have that many options. Will we ever see additional sets added to the sets? Definitely. Obviously, more sets come out every patch. What's the plan for the auction house rework? We'll be able to sort items by item level. Condense battle pets that are caged. I don't know anything about this, but yeah, I think they do have plans for this. Will us warlocks get more demon glyphs for all our demons? I mean, I did with the help of 25 others beat Xavius the Nightmare Lord and Gul'dan the strongest orc ever seen and conquered the Lich King. Yet I still run around with Asmir, my little imp that can one-shot Ragnaros the Fire Lord. It feels weird. Probably not. I don't know. I'd imagine the answer is no. Shouldn't you be doing yard work? Hey, Matt, long time no see. No, it is freezing out, so I will not be doing yard work. Will Cold Tyran as an allied race have an option to be human-sized? No. Yeah, that's funny. Would it be possible for specific Q&As with each class respective head developers? It would undoubtedly allow for the community and the devs to better connect and understand class issues. It'd be great, but again, they're busy, and you know, part of Ian's job is being the face of the company. That's not part of their job, so I don't think it's a good idea to put these guys out in front of the public. I met a lot of them at BlizzCon, and they're unfortunately, yeah, you wouldn't want them to be talking for an hour. Let's put it that way. Many players miss actively related appearance unlocks, like the artifact appearances we had in Legion, which you could obtain not by simply looting an item over a dead boss, but rather completing 10 raided battlegrounds. The reason those were added was because there was no new weapons. So you need to realize that. They were not added for any reason other than that. They were added because if you had the single weapon, the entire expansion would be pretty stupid. So yeah, I miss them too, I guess, but that's probably not something to expect ever again. Are you planning to add more glyphs for character customization? Maybe. They're probably considering adding more glyphs, but realistically, no. I thought chainsaws got traded for snowblowers. Yeah, it's true, snowblowers. It's not snowing currently, though. And BFA arena matches are taking quite some time to finish, many lasting around 5 or even longer. That's kind of frustrating and tiresome for some. Was that intended? Yes, it was. Because if you remember last expansion, people were complaining that the patch, or what the matches were ending in like less than a minute. So, yes, you can't have it both ways. If you want to at least feign integrity and sincerity, leave lore out of this one. Okay. Most of the class changes and experience reduction could have been hotfixed like it has been in the past. Why make us wait so long? These are a big suite of changes, and they need to make sure that they work. So they need they require actual player testing on the PTR. So no, they could not have been hotfixed in. Gear scaling in instant PvP seems wacky. 330 item level players doing the same or even more damage than 375 item level players. Many are lowering their item level by equipping low item level gear while keeping high Azerite pieces. How does this make sense? Apparently, this is a falsehood. I talked to people about this at BlizzCon, and they said this is not true. So they don't know why people are saying this, but it's the evidence they have is not the case. So, how do you know about true? Wait, do you know about True Shot Mythic Marksman Hunter cooldown bugged? When you let Marksman have 2 target cleaving, finally, and even no cap on AoE at all. Do you know that the cooldown is bugged? You'll have to be more specific. Sorry. There's a certain recolor of Warfront gear: blue-black for Alliance, black-gold for Horde. It's only available in-game as its aspirant version. Oh, we've seen files, and you can saw the appearance in the appearances tab in beta of the Elite version. Do you plan on making them attainable in this expansion? Probably not. I mean, they're always holding on to to more appearances. So, is 8.1 live yet? Hey, what's up? Not yet. We're still waiting on the servers, as you can see. It's 100% correct. 200 item level enhancement shaman, bursting 22Ks in arena. I shouldn't tell you about this, but yeah, apparently it's not correct. So, time gating is becoming a big issue with the community. Can you explain the decision-making process on how you decide how long to wait to make certain content available? Why do we have to wait so long to play our Cold Tyrant Druids and Zandalari Paladins? Because it's coming with the patch. It's not time gating. It's content that was not ready, and it is coming when it is ready. Would a cost-free option to swap tier 3 or even tier 2 Azerite abilities be an option for the future patches? The adjustments made to the cost is definitely a help in 8.1, but it still feels bad playing just to swap something like Longstrider for resounding protection for certain fights. A free option to swap tier 3. That'd be interesting, but no, probably not. That's why they want you collecting multiple items. So, yeah, girl group mail edits. I brought that up when I was out at BlizzCon, and I was told it's something with the way the numbers are interfaced. It's not actually true. Like I don't know. I shouldn't talk about it any more than I already have. I'm in Europe. Is this only tomorrow coming in Europe? Yeah, it's tomorrow. Are we gonna ever have actual penalties for leaving Battlegrounds? I mean, that is a penalty. Doesn't mean a lot nowadays since people can just go do something else. That's plenty. Any updates on Gladiator stance or a sword and board DPS spec in the future? Nope, Gladiator stance did not go over well, so it was removed. Have you thought of making Azerite traits act like set bonuses did with tier gear? AKA when you change specs, the bonus would change to the appropriate spec. No, we do not want this gear feeling like it is not gear. We do not want it feeling like a talent tree, a talent addition, just like the Azerite, or just like the tier gear did. People like me are currently stuck trying to farm 3 different sets of Azerite gear just so we can play the spec that we feel is best for the boss fight. That is the intended situation of this. That is the intended circumstance of the situation. Showing the transmog that people asking questions for wearing for live Q&A would be pretty cool. Thanks. It would be, but they're not all coming from the forums. So. Any plans to play anything other than the DK in 8.1? Yes, I'll definitely be playing a lot of Druid and a lot of Shaman, including Ellie Shaman. With all this disruption about allied races within WoW, I was wondering if you plan on, I assume you meant discussion. I was wondering if you plan on reworking the ways to earn allied races easier. No. Play the video game. I want to see him go Frost in 8.1. Yeah, I'm playing Frost a lot now, actually. Ellie Shaman is super fun. Yeah, I quite like Ellie. Noogle here. You're saying I should keep my... so you filter through faster, yet you have an error like this. I was under the impression Blizzard Entertainment had a net worth of... Oh my god, these people are so fucking retarded. Anyway, given the overwhelming feedback for your reasons removing them, are you going to make Zandalari warlockable? No. Are you thinking about making a solo queue PvP? No, this has been asked a billion times. It's not going to happen. Is there any way Arms Warrior will ever be able to transmog the defensive stance shield into one of that many awesome shields in the game? Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, maybe a glyph or something? That'd be cool. I don't know, but that'd be cool. Solo queue in an MMO? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. Oh, this is, he's replying to something. When will we see changes made to customization options for the first... Wow, we're not even halfway done. Holy shit. For the first 4 allied races, it was mentioned that we'd be getting more, but most of the Nightborn are still perma-frowning, which wasn't how they were when it was first released. It changed a week after their release? Yeah, I didn't know that, so if that's the case, then it sounds like a bug. Lol, can we not talk to Ian? Lol, we already know his stand with the game. Dude, been happy with all the changes since day one. Of course, he thinks it needed improvement now because of number, but before man was too confident with this trash at start. No, he's the one who's going to be doing the Q&A. Post withdrawn by author will be automatically deleted in 24 hours unless flagged. Okay. That's not a question. Great, another corporate scolding to tell us how they want to play the game rather than how we want to play it. Remember, you think you do, but you don't. That's not a question. Why are you so keen to nerf class? I think if you post something like this in this thread, you should be banned. You should have your account banned on the forums. Why are you so keen to nerf classes a week into the raid, but when it comes to buffing them, we have to wait 4 months with no discernible reason? Because these are massive, massive changes to classes, and they require a suite of testing that only the PTR can deliver. Since Azerite traits are similar to Destiny 2's weapon perks, would you consider adding in an infusion system like Destiny, where we would sacrifice higher optimal Azerite gear with less desirable traits in order to improve the pieces we want? Yeah, I'm sure they have some ideas to make this gear even more fun, but I don't think they're going to copy something from Destiny. It probably wouldn't work. Will warriors finally get a change to defensive stance animation, the faction shield? This was actually just asked. Yeah, that's funny. Is it the same guy, maybe? I don't know. But either way, that'd be cool. I don't know. Probably not, but maybe. I am Canadian. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Are there any plans for realm mergers to address the removal of server PvE/PvP distinction with war mode, simply leaving some servers tiny compared to others? Such as the case of Ravenholt? No. The war mode changes have done what they've done. And if anything, they're going to combine more realms. They're going to, whatever. Yeah, what's it called? Combined realms? I don't know. Merge. They're not merging them, but they put them all together. Why do we have to do the Pathfinder quest in non-relevant material? You do not. Pathfinder is entirely in relevant content, i.e. Battle for Azeroth content. Are there any plans to give hunters more options? Oh, you're talking about the old shit. Yeah, I mean, it's still relevant for the expansion. I would be fine if that was removed, but it doesn't matter. You should have it by now. Are there any plans to give hunters more options in neglected pet families like corehounds, for example? Shale spiders have 4. Interesting. I don't know, maybe. Probably not, though. Since as long as there have been warlocks, we've been waiting for Glyph of the Incubus. It's about to be 2019. Can you fire? Oh god, this is a troll question. No. We've had no new talents since level 100. Above that, we have temporarily per expansion systems in the form of artifacts. Are there plans to address lack of permanent character progression? Would it at least make sense for just talents to account? It would be cool if they added new talents, but I don't think they're going to. I think they like this almost, season, like 2-year changes to classes that they don't have to keep. Will the Pathfinder requirement for Draenor flying be removed? Please, no. She can just go do it. It would take probably a day or 2 to do. Are Demon Hunters going to remain Blood Elf and Night Elf race locked through the rest of Battle for Azeroth? Yes. Otherwise, they would have to completely change the lore, so yes. When can we expect Night Elf Paladins to finally be playable for Night Elves? Also, will there be more eye options? Never. Also, will there be more eye options for Night Elves, like pure blue eyes like Tyran for priests and mages, and also emerald eyes like Malfurion for druid? More customization is something they're always thinking about. Will quests feel unrewarding compared to Legion? That's your problem. They're definitely more rewarding than Legion. Will rewards for WoW quests in Zandalari and Cool Towers be increased? They've been increased like 4 times in the last 3 months. Will Zandalari Pallies have their own Loa-based spells? Yeah, maybe. That'd be cool. I don't know. That's a good question. That'd be interesting to see. Crossrealm Mythic rating unlocked after 100 Ord and 100 Alliance guilds completed Uldir. Did timing work as you expected? Any plans to remove the faction dependency on unlocking Crossrealm Mythics? They're probably pretty satisfied with how it worked out, but it was pretty sad to see. By the time there was 100 Horde guilds, there was only like 11 Alliance guilds, which is sad. What world quest did you get 700 gold from? I'm not aware of any. Since allied races were the biggest selling point of the expansion, why is there such a tight lid on the subject? Barely anything is being released, and while it's not bad to create hype, it's also disheartening with knowing so little about what to expect. As one of those actually excited with the allied races ideology, when are we going to know more about the next pairing after Koltir and Zandalaris? Realistically, they're not going to be... They won't announce this in this Q&A regardless. World boss. Either way, gold is not what I'm thinking of when I'm thinking about that question. I don't think anybody should be looking for gold, but they are buffing it, so... Emissary box gave very little resources compared to what it gives now. Definitely gives more now. The difference is it gave like a bunch of shit. It gave like 3 different things. Now it gives 1 specific thing. Why does Shadow Priest have Void Form when they already have Shadow Form? Don't know. Volpyra allied races? No. Demon Hunter 3rd spec? Definitely no. How can you successfully create an Azerite piece that has unique and meaningful traits on it when the loot system is based on RNG instead of empowering an item you get early on? This is false. It runs into the problem of waiting on RNG or now currency before your spec can really shine. I mean, the fact that you just said currency is the complete fucking opposite of RNG, so this is not true. But the servers be down for that patch, been like an NA, yeah. What is this? Legion BlizzCon QnQ for 7.2. Dev said the next expansion will be heavy in dragons. Yeah, I don't know about this. Did they actually say this? I don't know about this. I've never heard this before, but apparently people keep saying this, that there's supposed to be dragons and dragon fights related to BFA. I'm not aware of that. Server is still down, yeah. Yeah, them 200 war resources, Kappa, at least with Order Hall resources you got, could be turned into Bloods of Sargeras. I definitely feel like doing the emissaries now are way more valuable than they were in Legion. If it wasn't for legendaries, then there would have been no reason to do the emissaries. They gave very little. I mean, the gold was like, you got more gold from the order hall. Gold is not something, I don't think there should even be gold from this shit though. It should all be either gear or Azerite and stuff like that. How do you plan to address the growing outcry over pruning? With few exceptions, many specs feel like a downgrade over Legion. Can we expect abilities like Deep Freeze, Scare Beast, and Baseline Shadow Word Death to return? I'm sure they're always looking at ways to make classes more interesting, but the growing outcry over pruning is, again, mostly fictional. Most classes did not lose many spells, honestly. The big thing that people are reacting to is the fact that the artifact is gone, and that's understandable. Can we please have the Set Sail World Quest bumped up from a weekly to a daily? The Set Sail World Quest. Oh, that's the one island a week thing. It would be cool, but I think they would have to nerf it. It'd be a little bit too good. They lost a lot. Lost a lot what? Oh, what? Classes? Not the ones I played. My Death Knight gained abilities. In Legion, we got a Chromie scenario when we were level 120 or something or someone once Chromie dead. Yeah, this is the same comment, isn't it? I don't know what that was about, to be honest. I don't know what the Chromie scenario was about. I have no idea. Do you estimate that BFA is a 3 to 6 year expansion? Is that a joke? What? I don't know what happened with Chromie, but no, the expansion is not going to be 3 to 6 years long. Not just abilities, but passive that can change. That was, again, all in the artifact. They didn't lose any. Nobody else lost passes. Set Sail World Quest did change in this patch. Oh, did it really? How so? Which hour will the servers be on? It said 6 Eastern, but I wouldn't trust that. I would think it would be earlier. When will rep pallies be looked at? Our AoE is poor, our cleave is non-existent, and our single target is average. Check out the patch. Inscription hardly has any glyphs in BFA. Why is this? Yeah, unfortunately. Inscription sucks. Any suggestion is to bring back all old spell animations? That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be fine with that. Especially Hurricane for Starfall. That'd be neat. Yeah, more glyphs the better if you ask me. Yeah, Rep Pally is actually going to get even better in AoE, so. Any plans to make more cosmetic sets available? Yes. I would like to be able to collect Blood Troll's armor for my Blood DK. Yeah, that'd be cool. Dutch Watch set from Soromar, Spell Enforcers. I'm sure they like getting more and more transmogging in the game, but it's not something that they could just spend all this time on. 8.1 have any story leading up to a third playable faction? No. You would know if it did. Pre-BFA Cosmetics gave hints at this, so did 8.0 content, but does 8.1 continue? What? You're asking about a third faction. There will not be a third faction. Any words on prestige class specs to counter allied races? Unlockable specs are racial classes, tinkerers for crafty races. No, no word. This is not something that will be announced in a patch that's coming out either way. It would be nice to address concerns with realm population. It was nice to see some form of acknowledgement with the world PvP flagging, but that doesn't fix the nearly toxic levels of low population on realms like Ravenhold. What the fuck is... How could there be toxic levels of low population? It would be the opposite. Guilds are struggling, impromptu world content groups without the group finder are just about impossible, and auction house and prices are out of control. I understand this, if that's the case. If that's the case, I understand. For me, it's the opposite, though. Auction house prices are way too low on my server. This is a social game, yet there are realms where you can go and level from 1 to 120 without seeing a single player. I mean, that's what all the cross-realm tech in the game is there for, so. These concerns are already addressed, basically. I've heard that Mythic Plus levers will now be flayed living. No, I don't believe so. You have to collect Azerite on the island to get a treasure map. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Can we make archaeology worth having before it gets removed like first aid? Yeah, it's all just cosmetic stuff, isn't it? A lot of achievements, though. So I'd say that alone is worth having. How do you feel about the like to dislike ratio on the 8.1 survival guide? Clearly people are not happy with the state of the game, even the addition of 8.1. I mean, anybody who's not happy with 8.1 is just a fucking kid. They really are. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's still more of the same. If you don't like Warfronts, don't like Islands, don't like Azerite, don't like the GCD and class changes, then you should be playing fucking World of Warcraft. I don't have to tell you. That's the main fucking content. You don't like the shit, then don't play the game. you don't get to dislike a comment. You don't get to put like 4,000 dislikes on a video and act like everybody everybody who plays the video game doesn't like it. Move on. How's the mitigating system isn't working out but have no plans to change it or fix it? A reasonable response, given that your metrics show a large drop in playtime and your company's stock value is half of what it was just in a... Listen, they don't give a fuck about the company's stock value. This is a World of Warcraft team you're talking to. Ian Hazzikostas does not give a fuck about the company's stock. And the whole... Yeah, you know, again, another thing I talked to, your metrics show a large drop in playtime. Factually wrong. So I don't know what to tell you. The stats that I've seen from Blizzard directly are contrary to this. So, are there any plans to return producing quality expansions? Yes. We reduce every expansion with quality. BFA could have been better, but it's definitely not unfinished. Just it was rushed a bit. There's a reply. Let's see. Heels Fady Pace has a beard. I don't think he's a kid, but he's an ultra casual. I agree with you on that. Yeah. Heel's a tool who doesn't play games for longer than 10 minutes, yeah. It's also just dumb. None of these arguments ever have any substance. Gotcha. Anyway, running roughly a year or so ago, it was mentioned in QnA that you're looking to doing more realm connections. Since that time, we've heard nothing about them. It's true. While dynamic CRC makes the world frequently appear full, it does nothing to address the actual realities of being on a lower pop realm. The auction house is practically empty on my realm with only a page worth of consumables. What is there is incredibly fright. Wow, that sucks. Yeah, this is something that needs to change. I don't know what's taking them so long, but they definitely need to combine more realms. Our server's still down, yes. Are you going to do Mythics tonight? What? Mythic Raid? No. Yes, Mythic Raid. Yes, but no 5 minutes. Can the Darkspear have an official chieftain, please? No. Any plans for servers located in Brazil or Latin America? Lol. No, if anything, there will be plans to remove these servers as they are not supported by the player base. Will Zandalari Paladins have a unique class mount like Dark Iron Dwarves got for their Paladins? Yes. When will playable Volpera be announced? Never. Zandalari and Kill Tyrants were first announced over a year ago. Lots of us bought BFA looking forward to play them, and they are still not in the game. I understand a story reason is needed, but is not completing the entire continent. I understand your frustration, but we do feel like it was more important for them to be attached to the raid. What was the reasoning behind the removal of Shuriken combo? Are you joking? Was it Zool? It was Zool in the fact that the MDI was like basically destroyed by double sub rogues. When will we get playable male blood elves? DKs and Warlocks have fared poorly in BFA Season 1 arena. What changes have been made in 8.1 to help those two classes be more competitive in rated PvP? Check the patch notes. Will you be doing a balance pass on class utility dungeons? Yeah, I would like to see this for sure. Need to be more balanced in a class utility, but it's not an easy fix, man. It's not an easy fix because you're either going to homogenize everything and ruin the continuity of the game, or yeah, it's going to always be like this. I don't know. Where you at in Mythic Progression? We've been 3 of 8 for like 5 months now. We'll probably never kill Vectus. We lost like 15 players in the last couple months. In the upcoming, yes, if anybody's out there looking for a guild, let me know. In the upcoming Battle of Dazara Lore Raid, will there be a progressive stat buff similar system to that? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I hope so, because I really like that, but maybe not. Maybe it was a bit too powerful, huh? Make Pharaoh's utility again. That won't happen. How do you think Guardian Druids will be now after the changes? I think they're going to be great. Okay, let's see. How does the team feeling about Legion changes to DK runes? I've tried getting back into Blood, and it just hasn't felt the same. Well, it's been like that for over 2 years now, so I think they like them. The fact that they haven't changed in BFA says I'm pretty sure they're satisfied. Any word on when the rest of the community features are coming? As a guild leader, I'm looking forward to that calendar, hopefully soon. Will reputation bars be shared throughout? No, definitely not. If they did that, then it would be very easy to get rep. You would do alts. You would make alts mandatory, so no. Not a good idea. They're basically putting, you know, all the rewards on the vendors and stuff are BOA anyway now, so you don't need this. My server has gone from medium in WoD to low in Legion, and now to new players in BFA. Sorry, man. Yeah, I really do hope that they fix this for sure. If we're going to continue with single paired storylines, can we get garrisons that are not limited to a single expansion? Hopefully not. The garrison was terrible. Do you plan to remove Titan Forging? No. Personal loot only in guild raids? No. GCD? No. Well, the GCD certainly isn't getting removed. I feel like people who say this shit have no fucking idea why they're even saying it. Azerite? Fix it. No, they're not going to be removing Azerite. LFR, I would like to see that removed, obviously. Do you plan to bring back Legion Legendaries? What? No, Legion legendaries are still in the game. Valor points. Why, you need more catch-up gear? I don't think we need any more catch-up gear. Old talent system. No. Reforging. Maybe. Probably not, though. Attunements. Yeah, no. Do you plan to add support for the Mythic Plus Systeme? This guy can't speak English, apparently. In-game seasons with... Yeah, I think it is actually happening, to be honest. I think this is actually happening. I'm not sure, though. Guess we'll find out soon. Guild garrisons. That's a bit late, isn't it? Account-wide rep. No. Like I said, everything that you could buy from the rep is account-wide now, so you don't need account-wide rep. What's the point of this Q&A thread when you still haven't answered a single question that came from the BlizzCon Q&A? What? I don't understand. Oh, Black Dahlia. Thanks, man. It won't work like Reorigination Array, but they did mention wanting to do something similar to it. I didn't see that. Cool. Guild halls would be very cool. It would be, but it's a bit late.
Smile.
Thanks a lot, man. Smile back to you. Ian, come off those high elves, bro. Okay. When will Alliance be able to get their B mounts since Horde got the Dino Mount questline? It will probably not. I don't know why they think that. What is that? Is this something new? Dino Mount questline? I don't know what this is. Guild halls would flop like Garrisons did. It'd be cool, but still the best MMORPG. But people are right and can feel a new game on the rise soon. I think WoW is at the end of its life cycle. I do not. Did you check patch notes? Yeah, we talked about that earlier in the stream. Even after Zandalari trolls are released, Horde druids still cannot wear shoes. Can we have a barbershop option for troll shoes? No, that is the intentional purpose of trolls. Are there plans to add traits to the neck itself? No. Outer World content and World Quest daily rewards are nowhere near as good as they were in Legion. We have had Azerite as a reward for emissaries 3 days straight. That's what you should want. Oh, it's this guy again. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this guy wants, honestly, but this is not a bad. This is exactly what you should want, and this is why they're more valuable than they were in Legion. We're getting way more AP from emissaries than we did in Legion, and that is the only thing that you should matter. Like, gold is one thing, but there's many ways to make gold. So we should not be worried about gold. Why were the daily reward chests removed? They were not removed. They were just changed. So instead of getting some shitty gear, some shitty mats, some shitty craft gear, I don't know what that even is, some shitty currencies and minor amounts of herbs and materials, you now get one specific thing every time. 1,000 Azerite isn't a good motivator, especially when you're a casual. And at the end of it, what you don't have is anything in your bags to show for it. Sorry you feel that way, but if 1,000 Azerite is not a motivator for you, then you just don't care about your character's progression. I don't know what to tell you. The gear and weapon drops in world content are atrocious and need looking at. Why are we being funneled into instance content? Because that is how. Don't you want people out in the world? Yes, but this is how. When you want when you want good gear, you go to instance content. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. Why are you increasing the explosive cost on new recipes for profession when explosive is already? You should check out the PTR Shinhua. You will be surprised. What's wrong with your nose? I'm ill. Very, very ill. But don't you think that they should reward something else with AP? No. Many ways to make gold. Sell Mythic Plus. I mean, auction house, grind old dungeons, sell transmog. You can't do that. You know, you can't go to the auction house and buy Azerite. You know what I mean? The best way to get Azerite is world content, and now it gives even more Azerite than it did last expansion. So. Let's see. I ask this for something like every time they post a Q&A. This is person. Maybe instead of sloppily copying and pasting things or being smug and dismissive and player concerns, you should work towards better communication. That's a really fucking embarrassing thing to say to this guy. This guy is the nicest guy I've ever met in my entire life. Liam, he's an awesome guy. He's been at Blizzard for 14 years, man. He's outstanding. He's been there since day one, since WoW day one. So fuck you, Calorian. How about you eat a fucking dick? How about you stop being so smug? Jesus Christ, man. What plans are there for more server connections moving forward? Yeah, we already talked about this a couple times. Hopefully, there are plans coming. I would very much like to see that. Why are good weapons so hard to obtain? They are not. This is how weapons have always worked. You solved one of the biggest problems in the game with weapons last expansion, so why scrapped artifacts? Scrapping artifacts is not within the scope of this question, but I can say that a big problem with weapons is that there's too few of them compared to how many pieces of gear. So, for example, there might be like 8 pairs of boots, but there's only like 3 or 4 weapons. That's why it feels that way. But again, a community perception problem, not an actual design problem. I played my off-spec substantially more last expansion because of the artifacts. I couldn't play Ret right now if I wanted to. Well, you could. You can go buy a weapon from the auction house. So, just like I did on my druid. Are there any specs you believe need a better defined niche? I'm sure the answer would be yes. Why the diminishing returns on Titan Residium for players that decide to push past their weekly 10? because we don't want to be giving a massive, massive advantage to people doing 20s. 20s should be their own advantage, their own reward. We do not need to be, you know, give them a slight advantage, but we do not want them to be getting like dozens of pieces a month. Purgatory doesn't reset on death anymore. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but who the fuck takes Purgatory? Even if they read, comprehension is too much to ask for most people. I see. Why should we have to wait for more Kiltorans or Zandalari? The city under siege and they still won't join us. That's actually why. I mean, you just said it. Storytelling is shoddy at its best and insulting at its worst. The fact that you just insulted, I mean, you really revoke your right to say this when, like, 10 minutes before you posted that, you just personally insulted somebody you don't even know. So your opinions are less valuable to me now. Hey, there's my comment. Oh, 16 hearts. Look at that. Why is mob scaling in the game and most of the players seem to dislike it? Unfortunately, it's a system that it's better if, you know, people do dislike it because it means it's working. I want to feel my power. You do. I should be able to go back out in the world after being very geared from raiding or Mythic Plus and kill stuff exponentially faster. You can. I have an entire video on the topic. Check it out. Mob scaling has no place in a gear power progression based MMORPGs. Neither do overgeneralizations and exaggerations. So, okay, so let's see what this guy has to say on Metro. Bone Storm is still amazing. I agree. Anyway, they want to funnel people back into Red Thirst? No. Purgatory is definitely not. Anyway, by my account, many of the problems the game seems to face are rooted in the community not fully understanding the purpose or goal of an implementation, then reacting harshly to a problem they may not fully understand. Are there any plans to get ahead of the community and publish regular updates explaining the in-development content, especially during PTR phases, so that we aren't limiting third-party websites and media, or so that we aren't letting third-party media websites or party websites and media dictate the initial response to topics? Worked well with the GCD changes during beta, but too few and far between IMO. And again, I'm answering as Ian Hazakosis. No. Well, hopefully he will answer that question. Hopefully he will read it. With the coming raid, I was wondering if there are plans for earlier cross-realm Mythic. If not, there are plans to increase 1 lockout per week after Hall of Flame. 1 lockout per week? No, that's never going to change. That will not change. But anyway, you know, the way to get cross-realm enabled earlier is get better alliance skills. So many of these replies are just incorrect. I'm not sure if I want Blizzard to listen to their fan base or not. Yeah, you're talking about the forums. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. Can you please do a lightning round of questions where you take 10 to 20 easily answered questions and respond to them with a single sentence? Just my own small opinion here. I appreciate the detailed explanations. I do, but it often seems so much time is often just reiteration. That's what I'm doing right now, Too Dirty. Check out the stream. Will we ever get more cosmetic glyph options? Man, how many people are going to ask about this? I would love to see this, but it's a lot of people asking about this. The current buff to Prot Warriors feels like Band-Aid fixes at best, and community perception, especially in Mythic Plus, still sees Prot Warrior as being next to bottom tier. That's, again, dude, there's always going to be a worst. I'm sorry that you're playing it, but there's always going to be a worst. Are there any plans to give Prot Warriors some extra utility? It would be great if they gave, we talked about this at BlizzCon, if we were thinking about Heroic Throw. Oh, Derek Dunn, holy shit. Oh, I didn't even realize that was you.
I'm back. Hey there, Metro.
What's up, dude? You are back, aren't you? What's up, man? How you been? We possibly, we kind of cracked the wall on this at BlizzCon. We got them to somewhat consider making like some kind of utility for Heroic Throw or Charge, but anyway. For those who miss server communities, can pristine realms be available? A reality? No. For specs such as Frost, Death Knight, are there any plans to address the state of major talents like Breath of Sinjagosa / Obliteration? Only 1 in the 100 tier are viable. Those are both in the same tier, aren't they? I guess not. You will see Horde guilds that finish after top 100 switch to Alliance to get the achievement. Ah, that'd be interesting, yeah. Sounds like you got a nervous voice crack, XD, yeah. My throat is killing me. I don't know how I'm still reading this after all this time. Is it necessary to continue to strip the RPG elements that were once the root of this game in your pursuit of shifting gameplay for esports? Why and how do you plan on retaining players that are looking for a more RPG-style game as you diminish the aspects of WoW's roots, referencing unique class spec utility and gameplay specifically? I mean, I don't know how you could even say this, dude. Unique class spec utility and gameplay, it's never been more real than it has been in BFA. So they're doing both, you know. They're making the game more about esports, but that's with systems. That's not with class design. If anything, like, you know, adding things back like power, word, fortitude, these are RPG elements. So, but yeah, I guess I would agree with this. Unique and challenging open world gameplay. It would be nice, but you have to remember that open world gameplay will never be challenging. You could always just get a Zerg of 40 people to crush it, so it's never going to be any different. An Azerite gear vendor is being added for PvP players. Will something similar be added to those who focus on PvP? The reason it's being added is not for PvE, it's for Mythic Plus. Mythic Plus cannot access the gear very easily. Now, if that's the same for PvP, I don't know. Then maybe they will add that, but if it's not, then the answer is no. Are the devs happy with the state of professions right now? If not, what is the plan to improve moving forward? I'm sure that things are always going to be improving, but I do believe that professions have never been better, than they are now. Is there a plan to fix Dark Moon? Yes, that happened in the patch. Why is there a minimum target count of 3 for Marksman Hunter AoE? I have no idea. Is that actually the case? Why is Barrage on a single target row when careful aim is on a multi-target talent row? Because they want that choice to be made. Why is Scatter still on Trap DR? I don't know. Are there many points of feedback? These are many points of feedback that have been going around for a long time and were not addressed in 8.1. Well, then they probably don't want them to change. That would be my guess. I'm doing well. I'm surprised you're able to read that. Seems like a copious amount of salt. Yeah. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Oh, Marksman now targets up to 5. There you go. No problem, bud. Trying to answer the simple questions in chat. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Are there more class changes planned for 8.1, or is this it? Obviously, because considering the patch comes out in a day, this is it. Most of these don't feel impactful or major. Sorry you feel that way. I disagree. Most, if not all, they should have been applied via hotfix. You can't really apply most of these via hotfix. Additionally, is the team planning to remove more utility or mobility abilities from the GCD? I think so, yes. But I'm not sure how many are even left at this point. Which ones are even left? I don't even know. There's a chance that you could reconsider bringing back the Zandalari Warlocks rather than trying to make them an excuse on why they can't be the class. I think it's not an excuse. I think it's actually something that they can't have. They just can't have classes be more than they are. Like, there can only be so many race class combinations, I think. So if they did bring Warlocks back, they'd probably have to get rid of something else. I honestly think it was Paladin replace Warlock, but I'm not sure about that. Will Mythic Plus loot be capped during the Heroic Week? Maybe. That's a great question. I hope they answer this, because yes, probably. Please, for the love of a loon, make Lord Walden's top hat a green item so we can mog it. Please, please, I am actually on the ground begging. Well, if you care this much about transmog, then I hope you enjoy the game. Is Shaman Enhancement still getting a rework for the spec? Yes, look at the patch notes. Do you have any plans to revitalize outdoor content to make it more meaningful? I mean, that's what World Quests, that's what these invasions are, all of this stuff. So that's been happening for the last few years. Why is it acceptable for one faction to receive an allied race which utilizes existing visuals and narrative themes from the opposing faction, Nightborn, but not vice versa, High Elves? By all means, this is read to Ian. Allow him to use a lifeline and phone up Chris Metzen or Alex Afrasabi to educate him on the subject matter. That has nothing to do with why they choose allied races, dude. I promise you that. Was it not obvious with the loss of artifacts that classics would be really weak? Why not put 1 or 2 talents? Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I don't know why they thought just removing the artifact was good enough, but the only thing I can think of is that they had more plans for customization that never fleshed out properly in the launch. But classes are not very weak. Weak is relative. It's based on the content and your peers, and they are not very weak. Are you going to do anything to remove the feeling of getting weaker and weaker? No, that is not. I mean, this is how it's always been. It's more noticeable in BFA because Legion's power level gain was so huge. Absolutely huge. So, I'm sorry it's frustrating, but it would have been frustrating in MOP to WAD as well. So, is there a chance we will see some sort of replacement for equalization for what was taken from classes with the loss of artifacts or Azerite traits? I mean, they have done that in a lot of ways. A stat squish, weird scaling amidst 110 to 120. This is not actually weird at all. This is normal. GCD slowing playstyles down doesn't actually do that. And loss of a lot of artifact passives make class feel much weaker than they were at 110. Again, that's relative. You should only be worrying about the output of the class, not the, I don't know. You should not be comparing a Legion design to a BFA design. And that's the mistake a lot of people are making. Are there any updates to share regarding Vicious Saddles in 8.1? I have no idea. I don't even know what that is. How do you always bring up improving communications yet fail every single time and manage to make it worse? I mean, they're doing QnA, so that's improving communication. How is Laura still a CM when he doesn't even lift a finger or bother to do what he's paid for? How the fuck do you know that? What the hell are you talking about? How do you know he doesn't do what he's paid for? Eat a fucking dick, man. Wouldn't the AI employed by the Horde Alliance NPCs in Islands expeditions drastically improve player immersion in the outdoor world and therefore contribute to the longevity of all content? Or to be utilized everywhere? It would be awesome. This is something I liked a lot when we were talking about it on the beta. If they added this even to a raid fight, I think it would be amazing. So yeah, it'd be cool. But they probably don't want that. You know, like world content is supposed to be, you know, pretty easy. So they don't want them reacting to you as much. Now they were removing the transmog barrier between fist weapons and regular one-handers. Are there any other transmog restrictions we're looking to have removed to allow more flexible class fantasy for some players? Fury Warrior / one-hand? No. I generally see major discontent in Horde and Alliance players with the current narrative of BFA magnifies complaints both sides have with their story and in the previous war expansion. Was it your intention that neither side would be happy story-wise? Probably not directly, but the fact that people dislike some of these characters is intended for sure. With the loss of the artifacts, wasn't it obvious the classes would be underpowered? Is this the same fucking question from before? Yes, it is the same question from before. Please do not post the same question twice. Any plans of fixing the field? Again, this is the same question from before. No to both. What is the rationale behind Legion content not being available for Legacy loot mode when a character is 120? I don't know why they're doing it, but they're pretty clear on it being the case. They don't want people to easily be able to get a ton of free shit from Legion. If you want to go do Legion content, then form a group. His thoughts on the traits are highlighted in the video I made a few weeks back. Man, your streaming community has really grown. Yeah, it's been good. I'm pretty close, Derek. I'm pretty close to being where I want to be. Wait, I'm a Metropolitan now. Yeah, you could be. How's everyone's patch day going? Horrible. Terribly sick. And the patch is not looking like it's going to come up any earlier than I hoped it would. Okay. Why is it that features that are initially received coldly, but which are iterated upon over the course of months, years to the point of near perfection, end up being removed, even though the player base has to grow to quite enjoy the finished iteration? It's a good question. But I think it's because those iterations are never really intended. They're there as a, I don't know. It's not what you think it is. Let's put it that way. It's not something they planned on doing. Would the team ever considering adding zeros to the LFG option? No. Would be tremendously alt-friendly? No, it would not be. Just go make a group for zeros. When are the Zandalari and Kultiran allied races being released? 8.1.5 is already announced. Also, will there be any allied races before the end of BFA? Even if there was, they probably would not announce it on this patch. Toward the end of BFA beta, it was said that DPS Shaman issues were extensive enough to require the attention of a patch. This is, again, wholly made up. But they did say that they had class changes coming for these classes, and that's what we got. First major patch is about to hit live servers, but no Shaman. I mean, that's not even true. You're getting new talents, you're getting complete reworks of spells, you're getting massive buffs of spells. That's just false. So, no. Yes, there are already plans. Check the patch notes. I will ask the same question I've asked every time. What are your thoughts on the Azerite system punishing players? You can have a piece of gear and a player be the exact same piece, be a higher item level, and actually be a downgrade because they don't have AP level to unlock their existing traits. I think you're vastly overvaluing the value of some of these traits. I don't think this is the case. No system in a while punish you on gear upgrades by not doing continuous content. Artifact system. I mean, that's why the AK is there, man. This should not be happening to you. It should not be happening. Not a problem. But I understand the point, but realistically, just go get more artifact knowledge. Or go get more artifact power. When do you make table mythons worthwhile again? You should look at the patch notes. In most situations, if a class lacks the hard-hitting numbers of another class, they usually compensate with a large amount of utility, making them a viable class for raid spots, ironically posting from a shaman. This is not the case for enhancement shaman. Oh, is it not? They bring neither numbers of utility to raid, therefore securing a raid spot is almost impossible given the versatility of all their melee specs. Surely internal numbers must show the ever-decreasing number of enhancement players. I'll have to take your word for it. Probably not, though. Realistically, internal numbers probably don't show this, so. What is being done about this and why is it taking so long? Nothing. I think you're making this up. That guy is high. Ellie Shamans are now top tier DPS, yep. Oh, hey, curious, do you plan to do a tank ranking? Yeah, I'm going to start working on that this weekend. Hand of Protector is going to be so good in 8.1. Yep, just like in Legion. Ellie does some pretty crazy burst AoE. Yeah, I cannot wait. I was doing like 60k DPS in some burst situations on my fucking really under-geared Ellie Shaman, so I can't wait to see what happens. Can we get some context on why Blaster Master was not only 50% nerfed, but made to only stack to 3 as well, when it was the only thing propping Fire Mage and get... I mean, that's not true, first of all. It was making them way too strong. So I don't know about the Blaster Master nerfs. I thought they were removing the trait outright, but it was way too fucking powerful in any burst situation. So I am not surprised that it was nerfed. Wait, are they changing Hand of the Protector? They're just making it use your own, using the target's health pool again. In BFA 8.0, it was using your health pool, so it was really hard to use on other players. The idiocy in the forums is entertaining. Thank you for streaming this. Yeah, my pleasure. Enhancement shamans look to be monsters after these buffs. They are huge. Yeah, they're going to be really good. They're reverting it back to the previous state, yeah. After the gnomes and Taurens, who will be the next heritage armor? We have nothing to announce yet. For Demonology Warlocks, what is the thought behind another portal talent? I'm not even going to read this because I don't know anything about Demo. What are the changes to experience? With the changes to experience requested to level up being reduced? Required to level up being reduced? Will a character's level be adjusted to reflect? No, it will not be. Sadly. That's not how it works. Is there any plans to improve the LFR? Yes, they probably would remove it, if anything. Currently, most bosses' mechanics are simplified so much that people do it without attention. Yeah, that's because it's LFR. Why not have LFR removed? I agree entirely, Moru. Do you have data on specific talents on specs, including PvP talents, which go largely unused? Yes, they do. Can we expect to see changes and reshuffling on these talents? Yes, you can. Sometimes simply changing numbers on a talent isn't enough. I agree. They will change stuff like that if they need to. Question about WoW DX12 optimization. Prior to the latest NVIDIA, both NVIDIA and Blizzard recommend use of DX11 over DX12. With the new optimizations, is a recommendation to now use DX12? No idea. I'm not even going to read this. There's no point. Can the Vicious War River Beast please get a mount special animation? Oh, wow. Really? That's weird. That sounds like a bug. Can the Alliance get a counterpoint to the Horde's How to Betrain Your Pterodox questline? Yeah, that probably should happen as well. We've had the artifact weapons in Legion, and now there is Azerite armor here in BFA. Are we going to see more external character progression rather than internal? Yes, definitely. Although I would like to see these systems like kind of pushed into the both, like to be both, really, but... I think I remember you from way back when, yeah. Pretty well, how have you been? I'm just coming back to the game. Sweet, Derek. After your third or fourth alt, you are tired of doing the same quest over and over again to level more alts, and you find different ways to level them. Island expeditions and in 8.1 incursions, but leveling that way leaves you with no rep. Why do you need rep on alts? Can you make profession patterns BO? Oh, for profession patterns. That's true. That's actually something you still need, yeah. Where is the shaman rework? Check out the patch. Why is mobility for ranged classes so bad? Mobility is fun. That's arguable. Do you realize removing tier sets was a bad idea? No, it was not. Why does Azerite gear have special appearances to at least... Why doesn't? That's a good question, actually. I'm not sure. Why do you continue to dumb down the classes, making them more boring? We aren't. Content, no matter how great, is not fun if the way through which you experience that content is not fun. That's true, so try a different class. These classes are boring. Which ones? Not versatile, engaging, or interesting, really. You should try Blood Death Knight. The Mage Tower in Legion was great because it was challenging and gave people a reward. Why is there nothing like this again? As you remember, the Mage Tower in Legion was not added until over a year into the patch, into the expansion. So if they were going to add something like this, it would probably be later. It has now been over 2 years, and everybody fucking hated it, by the way. This forum absolutely hated the Mage Tower because they were not good enough to complete it. It has now been over 2 years since the removal of survival as a ranged specialization for hunters, with no other spec in 12 classes and 36 specs playing even remotely similar to the way survival did, before or since. Can those of us who deeply loved our ranged survival hunters even ever expect that style of gameplay to return? Is it really that different? I don't know. I don't think so. I think you're overblowing the truth of that matter. Will this QnA be any different from the last, or will it be same old disappointment? I ask this because the forums have been overhauled. I don't understand what these two things have to do with each other. When during the patch are you planning on announcing and implementing a ranged Death Knight spec? Never. Had medical issues, stopped school, right now rebuilding everything. Sweet, man. Everything's good. It was ranged with traps. New Survival is amazing. I do actually like New Survival, to be honest. Oh. Hey, Metro, what class are you looking for in your progression team? Yeah, I mean, any damage dealers. Ranged especially. But, I mean, you're from Europe, right? I don't think you'd be able to make the times. Any plans to optimize the game to allow for better performance and crowd? Yes, that's what they're doing. They literally talked about the next one. Yeah. Wait, who's this? Oh, Mechagon. This is that person who was talking about the dungeons, yeah. What the additions of allied races? When are you going to allow us to get or purchase more account character slots? I'm sick of deleting tunes. They already did that. What are you talking about? I'm confused. They already did that. It's just not. It's per realm still, right? Is that the problem? I'm not actually sure. Oh no, it's 50 per account still. That's the person. That's the person's complaint. I mean, Ian's right. You can't possibly play 50 tunes. So I sympathize with Cop, but he doesn't play 50 tunes either. So delete your tunes. What is being done about the phasing problem that emerged during Legion? I believe at times I'm attacking an elite mob. We get each other's health down to roughly 20 or 30%. Suddenly I'm phased. I've never had this happen to me, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it. So I have no idea. Or when I don't think that happens, to be honest. Or when grouping walks across the zone, I'm suddenly unable to see my group numbers as I or they phase away from me. I come back and they're in a fight with a mob. I mean, that might be because of war mode, but I've never seen it. Now with war mode, I've never seen anybody with war mode on in my group, not in my group. So I don't know about that. But I have no idea. What is being done to prevent these things from happening? I mean, can you show me some evidence that they are happening? What are the raid times? 7 to 11 Eastern. Tuesday, Wednesday, 7 to 11 Eastern. 6:30 invite start. I was thinking something useful outside of raids too. Yeah, I don't know. Play what you enjoy, but you're not gonna stay up till like 4 a.m. or whatever, right? What realm? Fire Tree Horde US. When are you going to address people leaving Mythic Plus dungeons from locking out the rest of the team for the whole run? Yeah, that's a great question. Probably never going to. Oh, Shaman's got a simple number fix instead. I don't know why people keep saying this. Did we look at the same thing? What do you want? What needs to be fixed? I don't understand it. I really don't. Okay, this is an address response. Have you ever considered just having the Azerite traits on armor be on by default? It seems clear to most of us that during Legion players preferred having fully realized care. Yeah, I do agree that like the whole grinding thing just to unlock the traits kind of sucks, but if they didn't do this, I don't know what you would do. Like Azerite would not be very useful, so I think they need to find a better middle ground, but they're not going to just have them on by default. No way. You could easily repurpose the Heart of Azeroth to influence the power of those traits. That would actually be cool. That would actually be way better. That would actually be... This is a great suggestion. If the traits were on by default, but they powered up based on your heart, that would actually be really cool. That would be great. And are any current factions leaders planning to die after 8.1 is fully released? I don't know why they would tell you that. If it was happening, they would want it to play out in game. A bunch of beasts that were previously tameable will now be previously untameable will now be tameable in 8.1, except the ferrets in Storm Song Valley. What gives? No idea. Maybe we get some feedback about the changes for Enhancement Shaman. You guys removed the aura and balanced the damage on abilities and spells, and the rework for the spec. It happened. Any plans to tackle housing again and maybe listen to the player once for it? Nope. They tried the garrison and it flopped miserably, so I don't know why it would change with housing. You guys clear Mythic? Nah. We might have if we didn't have to not raid for like 4 months. Yeah, I'm so sad. Quite often it's been brought up that we have Titan Forging to help raiders move forward in times they normally can't progress as they hit a wall. I have found this more often doesn't apply to those who actually need it to help with progression, such as low-level Mythic raid progressing guilds. How could you find that? It's the same chance no matter what you're doing. Our guild is a low-level Mythic guild that already has 385 gear through Titan Forging and plus 10 keys, but can't get better gear to help our progression. You're severely over-geared. If everybody in your raid is 385, then I don't know, what do you want? On top of that, we are constantly seeing players who went to trial that have only done LFR and plus 5 keys who are 380 gear. Are you? Because I have not. I don't know anybody who has 380 from LFR. I think you're exaggerating. So they are way out of their skill range and can't even compete in a raiding environment. I'll take your word for it. I want to make my raiders actually better, but all they want is more gear and don't develop their own skills. That sounds like you have a problem with your raiders. Why are we rewarding players with gear they don't deserve? We aren't. Just because you say it doesn't mean it is true, and if you shared the data, it might help us give more insight. That's true. In short, why do we have Titan Forging? For the exact reason you brought up. As we have Mythic Plus and other content to fill gear gaps, it seems like a cheap method to keep people playing rather than actually helping them. It's both. Definitely both. We should just bypass Heroic and just do Mythic this week. Once we have a comfortable 20. The thing is, we still have a lot of people who need gear. I mean, like your wife and everything included, so... I would agree if we were actually able to kill Vectus, but it's going to be a lot of work. I want to make sure we're as geared as possible. But we'll see. After this week, we'll see if... yeah, if we have a consistent 20 and... you know, everybody's geared enough, and that maybe things get a lot easier with the patch, something like that. Serious question, new to tanking, how important is tanks DPS? Very important. I don't know, Metro had a 375 drop from a normal mythic that we were carrying Murph. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's a 30 item level Titan Forge. That's a big difference than a 380 from a, you know, it's another 5 item level, so. Never since high elves are blood elves. Wait, this is a different comment. Why not just remove Azerite gear and power systems instead of doubling down on them? Because we're not fucking retards. When a system is hated, giving more of it isn't a good choice. That's your opinion. Will there be a future dungeons and or raid in the Caverns of Time? They're not going to announce that here. Could you explain the reasoning behind removing the ability to delete Mythic Keystones? Very easily, yes. It was not intended to be used the way it was, and it was massively overused for reasons that should have never been allowed to be used in the first place. So. That is not how the Keystone system is meant to work. Oh my god, I'm not reading all that. Neither are they. When are you removing Titan Forging? The system is just too extreme. Never. Just because random Sally Joe LFR Raider gets a 50 item level boost doesn't mean your sub numbers will be better. I don't know why people bring this shit up, man. It's really weird to see. Like, have you ever seen a fucking 50 item level Titan Forge? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Your gaming's dying and it's in one of the worst states it's ever been. That's the best way to get them to read their comments, that's for sure. Keep defending all your broken systems. We do not agree the systems are broken. We agree that the community is broken, that's for sure. Will weapon drops be looked at? I'm not sure how they could be looked at, other than adding more weapons. I don't think we have a DPS issue, really more mechanics. I would disagree. Even when we had our best team, we were struggling to do the DPS required on Vectus, and that was many months ago, so it's going to be a long... It was both, for sure, but it's going to be a long grind to get back to that point. But we got a lot better last week. Last week's single target was, like, the best that we ever had it, so... If it continues to go in this direction and everybody who's in the guild stays in the guild, then we'll be in good shape. Are there going to be loyalty quests for each allied race faction leader to expand more of their motivation? No. I do not feel I earn the rewards I get from Warfronts when it's almost impossible to lose, so there's no prestige in winning them or showing off in Warfronts gear. Will you please increase the risk and difficulty? That's why they're adding heroic Warfronts. Is Shadow going to get buffed and then nerfed again? I don't know why it would. Will we ever see awe-inspiring transmog sets again? Yes. These older base and Drazilar base sets don't seem to measure up to previous expansion quality. Disagree. Subjectively speaking, glad we agree there. As well, the prospect of hideous Naga base sets doesn't really bode well insofar as is being addressed by 8.2. I see. I disagree. Have you reconsidered Alliance High Elves or Illyria style Void Elf customization? I don't think they've reconsidered that now. When can we expect Pathfinder Part 2 to come available? As they said at BlizzCon, not 8.2. Will you ever overhaul the faction system, move it to Adventure Guide like with dungeons, and give proper rewards to all factions like transmog gear? Overhaul the faction system? I doubt it. It has been just posted on the official 8.1 notes that you will no longer be able to delete keystones. With this said, any plans to balance? Yes, I'm sure they want to continue balancing dungeons. Can we get update on more forum updates? The forums are cluttered with double reply posts, replies to posts. Should remain contained within the post section and not also posted with the thread itself. That'd be interesting. We're supposed... Oh, yeah. Oh, this guy actually replied to me. Now, oh, this is this fucking idiot who insulted Liam. I was supposed to understand when it takes them 4 months to barely explain a feature and how to target rewards properly. Please go away. No, I will not go away. What are your possible plans, if any, outside of the natural AP catch-up mechanics to help keep the Azerite power gap between top-end players and casual players at a close enough distance to be within reach of players who are behind but wish to catch up, or players deciding to switch mains mid-expansion? The AP mechanic is the AP catch-up is massive this expansion. We don't need to make it any bigger. Can we get a... Oh yeah, this is my reply. Can we get a reduction in mobs in Mythic Plus? No. Stop playing PvP. Oh yeah. That's funny, he's replying to that guy. What? That's exactly the point of my question. Did you misread something? How will Thrall react to Ysera killing his father? Will Jaina knowingly causing Thrall's death be the event? Wait, what? I'm confused. What are we talking about? I don't understand. How will Thrall react to Ysera killing his father? What the fuck are you talking about? Will Jaina knowingly causing Thrall's death be the event that really shakes things up? No? I don't know what you're even talking about. Many players have expressed that Mythic Plus is not anywhere near as fun as it was in Legion due to the abnormal focus on adding more trash and trash mechanics. No, this is how Legion Mythic Pluses were intended to be, but as they were not designed with the fixes and Mythic Plus in mind, they were not that way for most dungeons. As you can tell by Karazhan and dungeons that came out later, like Seat of the Triumvirate, trash was always meant to be the main focus of Mythic Plus dungeons. If you do not like them, why not try getting better? Looking forward, Azerite armor has very valuable potential that a lot of the community perception seems to overlook. I'm glad we agree. If the system continues to see improvements, could we expect to see systems reused in future expansions? Yes, definitely. That's like a no-brainer. Obviously, they're not going to even answer that. That is something they will do. Could you share some details on what is in the works to help with the growing imbalance between factions? Another falsehood. It's not actually. It's only like 1% imbalance. Saw those stats at BlizzCon too. It's a constant discussion, but frequent updates on teams, thoughts, and ideas moving forward. The bigger problem is war mode, and they've already addressed that. Where are the Draenei? I know they were essential front and center throughout Legion, but their neighboring house just got burned down. Shouldn't they draw some response from them? I don't know. Where are they? Draenei is not in BFA. Is that what people are saying? More people bitching about how hard Mythic Plus is. Those are the same people bitching about how easy specs are, yeah. Don't hate me, Iceblock. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if you did, damn. It is absurd to think Blizzard doesn't want the best possible story for all players, but that only makes it harder for me to understand how you went the way you did. Did you simply not think you would get the reaction you got from Horde players? No, I think the reaction that people are getting from Horde players was intended. Do you think you will have a trick up your sleeve that will fix everything? We're not worried about fixing anything. It is just a story, so... but yeah, I'm sure they have some kind of big twist coming. Oh, here we go. Do you plan to remove? Let's see this guy's response. I agree Titan Forging level jumps are a bit too high, which will eventually require another gear switch in the future. That's true. GCD and BFA is getting better. GCD is not a problem. Azerite traits system is the worst system the team has ever come up with. The progressive artifact system in Legion played out better. They're not really related. LFR is a decent intro into raiding for casual players like myself, but I do agree tiers and raids should be reduced to LFR. Yeah, they should get rid of LFR. LFR should be removed. Any plans to make this game fun again? Or can we keep expecting our talents and abilities to go on gear each expansion? Yes, you can keep expecting this type of customization. Talents have not been, I don't think that actually happened, so I don't know what you're talking about. Why did you guys change from the prestige system to the honor system? Because everybody said they wanted classic. I found the prestige system to be more enjoyable. All right. Why was the honor amount for the rewards nearly doubled in some cases? In order to acquire all Legion rewards, you'd have to farm out double the amount of honor someone who played Legion had to. Probably because the world quest gave so much honor. They didn't want that to happen again. Can we pretty please get a yes or no? No, they will never do that. Until they have an announcement, they wouldn't announce it. So the fact that they haven't announced it means no. Why did you remove the Mythic Keystone deletion trick? We already talked about this, but this is not it was a huge increase to Mythic Plus player quality of life. No, that is not quality of life. That is a circumvention of a mechanic that was never intended. Why didn't Enhancement Shamans receive any major changes in 8.1 to address spec gameplay concerns? Spec isn't nearly as fun to BF. Why were we ignored? Because they disagree, obviously. Post withdrawn by author. Good choice. Faction imbalance. Alliance has a noticeable shortage of activity in every single kind of endgame content from PvP. Yeah, I could agree with that. That does seem to be the case. But I didn't see stats on that, so I can't comment. What are you going to do to even out factions once racial abilities are more balanced? I don't think there's any way to do that. Are you guys closer to reverting the prune to classes? Almost every class is so boring and plays and pales in comparison to past iterations. Disagree entirely. And again, really, this whole pruning thing is really overblown. At worst, people lost one spell. WoD into Legion was when things were pruned, so talking about it now is pretty silly. Okay, these are all replies. Can you explain the choice for Mag'har as an allied race? Yeah, it is kind of weird, isn't it? It does seem like they were randomly thrown in. I don't know. In recent interview with Taliesin and Eviltal, lead designer Kevin Martin said the bulk of the changes you made are around rewards. Ian himself mentions increasing island expedition drop rates, presumably to increase participation. While more rewards will undoubtedly increase participation, does it ever occur to you that the problem with island expeditions, PvP-free warfronts, and overly trash mob-filled BFA dungeons might not be with the rewards they give, but rather with the modes themselves? just aren't fun. I'm sorry if you don't find them fun, but fun is subjective, so can't help you there. You can't just make everything cater to casual, sorry. When will the underperforming specs like Shadow, Feral, Enhancement be addressed? They were in this patch. Classes like Shadow have very little utility to compete in higher keys, that's true. That probably will never change, though. On a side note, outside of this question, what Ian said about BlizzCon about overall player-based perception on classes being a detriment to the class is 100% true. Yeah, he's right. Players have a general idea for Shadow that EG is terrible at everything, and everyone just believes it based on the posts, even if it's not entirely true. Yep, that's what I'm saying. That's why people need to start breaking the meta themselves. A perfect example of this is for me. I'm not going to read all this shit. And he plans on adding new customization options for allied race to at least bring them up to par with the base races. Disagree. Will we ever get World PvP events like we did with Legion? They were fun, but I think they gave a little bit too much. Maybe they'll add them again, though. They were pretty cool. Will we ever get an Old World flight whistle? No. Will there be improvements to the Blizzard voice UI, as many people still have no clue how to activate it and use it? Really? I think, people will use it because Discord is just better. Are we ever going to see the other side of Azeroth? There is no other side. That's just a map. That would be an actual good idea. Oh, he's replying to this person. That's not how a map works, sorry. Are we going to get a talent tree that bolsters our skills for our classes? Explain, please. Explain what? No, the answer is no. They're going to make a new talent tree. Are we going to have a gear vendor for PvP and PvE? Look into the patch for Mythic Plus dungeons. Not for PvP, though. I couldn't agree more. This guy's replying to somebody clearly. Are there any plans for opening up more race clash combinations like Tauren Rogues, Worgen Monks, or such? How about more customization options like Grim Totem Warpaint for Taurens, or expanding back items to include backpacks? That'd be cool. Have you guys considered adding a tint system? They talked about that at BlizzCon. It wouldn't work. Was you able to push keys that week? Nah, I didn't get to. I had the Christmas party. Crafting BOE gear and reputation gear feels outdated and unrewarding, since I can just queue Warfront and get the same gear with less effort and time. Any plan to make them relevant again? This is false. To clarify, you were in the top on DPS. Okay, we listen to this one. Why remove the ability to delete Mythic Plus stones, Mythic Plus Keystones, and not resolve the issues that led us to doing so? The reason that they were added in the first place was resolved. So they unintended side effects of it, and that's why they were removed. Could the movement to revert class design to an iteration of its Mists of Pandaria state ever become a reality? It wouldn't even. No. How are they going to do that? There's a new class in the game and new specs. How would they do that? Great. More answers about Azerite traits and island expeditions, because this is what Blizzard claims everyone wants to hear about. I mean, it's part of the expansion, so I don't have to tell you. I've been having trouble finding how we can earn the Elite Arathi Warfront transmog besides cycle of 1 per Warfront that gives random 370. Very frustrating design. Yeah, it is a bit odd. I don't know why they did that. I do think it actually comes from PvP, though, doesn't it? I hope this patch will bring me back to the game. There's just not much besides Mythic Plus. Gotcha. Longest 8 hours ever, yeah. This week, everyone should get a 15 done. It's going to be ridiculous easy. This week? The current week? I don't know about that. Oh, there's Leviathan. Are these the promised changes? Yes, they are. I mean, yes, they're also temporary, but they are the promised changes, quote unquote. You just got way out of control with your expectations. A lot of people feel that their spec or class at large is weak without artifacts or because of pruning. Could you run through the list of specs in one sentence, articulate a strength of that spec? That'd be cool if they did that, but I don't think they will. Yeah, so this was addressed. Good. Since the artifact power system has performed poorly this expansion, despite its better performance in Legion, are you looking to bring the system into the new expansion after BFA? I disagree that it's performed poorly. I think it's the players that have performed poorly around it. Does the team have plans on how to engage players without using a Paragon system from Diablo? Have they considered the system Guild War 2's use it? I don't know what it is, but I'd imagine no. Has the team considered adding rewards to lower levels, say by completing zones, could enable a vendor where new players / alts can access heirloom mounts / experience pots? That'd be interesting, but I doubt it. Why has flying not been given back to us yet? Coming in 8.2. Why are you guys going to hire a person who communicates? When are you guys going to hire a person who communicates with the player base? That is literally what the purpose of the community managers are. They have multiple. In this last Q&A, you talked about changing Affliction to be more about spread pressure and multi-dot damage than single target burst. You feel that not addressing issues with dead talents versus strong ones like Deathbolt and nerfing unstable affliction by 9% accomplish this? No idea. Shamans do not need a band-aid fix. When will we get a real class rework? Next expansion, maybe. They do not redesign classes in the middle of expansions. Will we discover the original home of the Volpera and possibly get to visit where they came from? Probably not. Periodically means what? This is the same guy again. How often, specifically, are incursions? How long do they last? What's the spawn rate? Does the countdown start when one spawns or when one ends? Yeah, it's true. We could use the details, but I'm sure they just work like the old ones. What they should do is make all dungeons, raids, and gear scale. That way they would always be content to raid. No, that's a bad idea. Teaming, fortified, quacking. Gotcha. I definitely don't think it'll be easier than the previous week that just ended. Will Frost Death Knights ever get 2 Enders back? No. Oh, fights like... Okay, we read this. This guy's replying. Do you have any plans to allow scribes to sort by class as they once were able to? Oh, really? They were once able to do that? Why was it removed? I don't know. Any plans to better show players which Azerite traits have heavy diminishing returns when stacking the same trait? What? Is that a thing? I don't think it works like that. I think it's just a stat, like, percentage thing. I don't know what that's based on. Also, some values on trait that modified 2 different values don't always stack. Yeah, usually only the static thing stacks. In this example, spell above the X more damage will stack with multiple of the same trait, but the generate Y resources will not. Right, of course not. That is not going to stack. I would like it if it did, though. What is the intended role of crafting gear? To give you extremely powerful gear for a benefit that you might have worked on your own. Are there any plans for technical updates for the profession system to allow high-end crafting gear to be made for people without making the game pay to win? No. You can do it with by taking the profession. Is there any plans on actually working to make combat fun in this game? It almost seems you have to have been working at doing the exact opposite. Really? I disagree, obviously, but I'm not sure what they could do to make it more fun. Why would that be bad? My guild raids? No, you don't want to do that. You don't need 22s to score 2200. Yeah, that's true. Are there plans to increase what players are allowed to transmog? That being hiding hands, a button that allows one-handed weapons, sheathing on the back, and the ability to only wear one shoulder pad. That'd be cool. But probably not. When can we expect to unlock Kultiran and Zandalari? Are there any other allied races planned? This was announced for 8.1. So many people didn't watch BlizzCon, huh? It's kind of crazy. With the introduction of a currency to target specific Azerite pieces via currency purchases, there is the possibility for a downside. Specifically around the theorized price/time investment into targeting a specific piece. I could foresee some Myth players if they spent weeks to obtain an item for a specific trait just to have it tuned below expectations after purchase. This is not a problem. People are... Oh, this guy's replying to somebody anyway, though. Can Horde please get a druid race that wears shoes? That'd be cool. But I think this person is really not understanding why things were tuned in the first place. Why do BFA weapon enchants have no visual effects? Wow, do they really? That's odd. Huh, that sucks. It's the same guy, though. Why should the Alliance have to wait until spring-summer for V-mounts? I have no idea. Why are communities that were dead on arrival to begin with getting more options when guilds who already needed more options and rewards and control are getting pruned and no feedback? That's not how it works. Guilds are communities now. Since you're not fixing Shaman damage issue, can we finally get a tank spec? What? Are you retarded? When the new forum refreshes, there's a shadow Pokemon head or a warped bat signal that flashes on your screen. What? The hell is that? I don't think that happens. Anyway. What are we talking about? Anyway, are there any plans to bring back actual vendors for PvP? Maybe at the very least it would help if you were able to get Titan Residium from the weekly chest. That'd be nice, yeah. Are you actually listening to your player base? In previous Q&As, you said that they can't make everyone happy. I agree, but are you trying to make a majority happy? No, definitely not. Why did you abandon... That's not a good idea. You do not want to just make the majority happy. Then the game sucks. Why did you abandon the Legion systems after struggling so hard to perfect them? I wouldn't say any of them were abandoned, but again, I don't think the perfection was part of the design. I think that was just iteration that something has to have done. Can we have the old glyph system back, please? No. Can you enable Mythic Flex once you enable Cross Realm? That'd be awesome, but that's not going to happen. Imagine guilds wouldn't die because they can't find 3 to 4 pugs. Yeah, I agree. Why delete the armor buff for Shadow Form? Is this a let's get rid of Shadow Form completely so I can see my Mog? I think they buffed it elsewhere, didn't they? Shadow Form armor has been there since day freaking 1. I'm pretty sure that just was... I don't think that's the case. I'm pretty sure that was just baked into something else. I'm not sure, though. Do you see any issues with the faction balance as it exists right now? Representation on the high-end Mythic Plus teams, as well as raw player numbers. Yep, just a part of the social aspect of the game. I'm glad you recognize that. Are you going to just pick the safest, easiest questions from this thread, or will you be brave and honest and answer the tough questions? I mean, most of the tough questions aren't even something they can answer, so they'll answer the ones that are most applicable to the patch. Will there be more tuning to Mythic Plus dungeons? Yes, definitely. Will Valkyria and Sethralic be allied races? No. Any chance you will fix it? You will fix it artifacts to be transmoggable on wands? Probably not. Why do developers think that horde bias is such a common topic right now? For example, one of the most active forum posts... Wait, what? I don't understand the question. Anyway, this. Okay, this guy's replying. When is Zandalari and Kultiran coming out? I don't know how you guys don't know this, to be honest. The fact that wands are ranged weapons have been cited as the fact that they can't be transmogged, yes. Can you make rewards match up with item level from things like world quests? What? Can you make rewards match up with things with item level from things like war? I don't understand the question. If you're asking for more... You're asking for more gear? I think the game needs less gear, so no. Also, more Anchorweed spawn points would be nice. They already did this. And let us fly after Pathfinder, Ione, and make it retroactive for all previous expansions to level 60. No. Put the fun back for those who don't raid Mythic Plus, as well as for those select few. If you don't like Mythic Plus or raiding, then not really sure what you're doing in the game right now. Nightborn men, high mountain dwarf chicks have broken face meshes since the airing hotfix in early February. Are these issues going to be addressed? I did not know that. Maybe. Probably not. The Worgen racial 2 forms is pretty underwhelming, as you are forced to go into Worgen form whenever you enter combat. Would it be possible to rework the racial so that Worgen and human form work as stances? No. Are there any plans to return some spells baseline? Yeah, maybe. Probably. It's possible, I guess. Class design is one of the lowest points of BFA in my opinion, so I'd like to know if there are any plans. I mean, what would adding Shadow Word Death do to class design? It's like, seriously. I just don't get it. Any plans to make Hellfire Citadel fully soloable? That'd be nice, yep. I think it is, though. You just need to have speed. I'm aware that's... Okay, we read that. Why 10-man raids? Okay, we read that. Will Restoration Shami ever get that iconic yellow beam chain heal back? Hopefully not. It looked terrible. Do you know when the undeads are going to get their heritage armor? Would love to see more of these types. They probably have an idea, but they're not ready to announce it yet. A few specs. Ret and enhancement in my experience, despite the 8.1 changes, still feel lackluster in raiding environments. How did you do raiding on the PTR? Or other classes, I guess maybe you did. Other classes bring better, more useful versions of the same utility. What plans do you have to bring them more in line? I don't, especially Ret and Enhance, I don't think that's a problem. When will you guys finally undo the Great Prune? Considering that happened in WoD into Legion, I'm not sure why you're asking about it now. What is the reason to undoing the ability to delete your keystones for a chance at different dungeon? I already answered this a bunch. Gold gain has been significantly reduced overall compared to the last 2 expansions, leading to a situation where new players cannot compete with those who have hoarded it without effort. Will there be any tweaks to gold gain in the future? Yes, it's coming in the patch. When can we expect to get our pruned abilities back and engaging interesting class design? Never. Once again, will you just ignore all real questions and pull fake ones from the air? Prove me wrong. Well, since we're reading every single one of these questions, I guess we'll be able to answer this guy's question. In Legion, we saw a lot of content be added to the game that surely took a lot of resources to produce order halls for every class, artifacts for every spec, unique storylines for class mounts and others. We also saw the addition of World Quest and Suramar. How was the team able to produce so much content, and where did all of those developers/designers go into battle for Azeroth? which undoubtedly is having a lot, is looking to have a lot less original and unique content. Totally disagree. But regardless, the answer is warfronts, islands, you know, I guess now these incursions, stuff like that. How do you balance decision-making between community feedback and internal opinions? It seems like you've listened to the community in terms of Azerite gear acquisition, vendor from currency, emissary cash, etc. Yet you will not give us what the majority of players want in other aspects, PvP vendors, blah, blah, blah. Because, you know, they believe that their thoughts on making the games are more important than the players, because the players often choose the easiest way out. Gen 1. Oh, is that Dan's house? What's up, man? How's it going, man? He wants high-level gear for doing nothing. Yeah, it seems that way. At what point would you consider a design element a failure for an expansion? They never are going to say that out loud, so it doesn't matter. Don't even ask that. Do you think it's worth it to keep investing dev time in a feature that is generally disliked and unhealthy for the game? I don't think they believe anything is disliked or unhealthy empirically. If they did, they would fix it. So, do you have plans to try and prevent situations like this in the future? I'm sure they do, but again, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna announce anything. Now, something that was brought up, which is pretty interesting. There was some suggestions at BlizzCon that they were working this whole AI thing that they've been working on for like Heroes and other games like Islands and stuff. That apparently they're thinking about getting some type of machine learning going for betas and stuff. But I don't know, for like feedback and stuff. So I don't know how that might work, but we'll see. Serious question: who at Blizzard believes that mages are balanced in PvP right now? Why is Sheep, Shimmer, or Greater Pyro not being nerfed? No idea. What benefits do you see not allowing Azerite traits to switch with specs? This has been addressed multiple times, not even by me, but by actual developers. What harm do you think it will cause to allow it? Because they do not want to have this gear function like a talent tree. They want you to actually care about the pieces you're wearing and care about which traits you pick. So, pretty clear. When will we see new future allied races? Oh my god. Stop. They're not going to... I don't know why people ask this question. I guess they just really want to see an answer, but... Okay, this is not going to get read. Gosteria, Delivar, M. Consideratio, Elgans, Pontos. 1 Ponto. Sere, Mechanica. Tenno, Paladino, Retributeo. Mechanica, Esta, Muito, Ruim. Com, Varios, Gaps, Entres, Uma, Skill, E. Outra, Fora, Now. That's Chinese? De Substantio. Amredas, and Mythicast Plus. I know what that one means. Raids at Mythic Plus. Acaba, Sendo, Muito, Trabalahoso, a Cansavitio, a Now Recompensador. 4K, Amakakaru, Uno Himereki, Das Hal Bibidos, Estao, Muito, Pabres, C. Comprer, Outres. Omego, O Gap, Entre, Halidalbius, E. Major, E. Dependencio, De Especializeo, Fika Esteruvial, Para Realiziar, Uma Matica Plus. Sarah Melhadoraro S. Mechanicas. Constantino Falhas E. Principalmente Falta de Abladedium. Q. Oxavilivum. What the hell? This is so weird ass words. Najoba Bligede. Alright, so this is not the Polish forum, dude. If you're gonna post fucking questions in Polish, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, what class specs specifically should we expect larger than normal changes to, like recent pre-specs on there? They're not gonna announce this. Are there any plans to take more abilities off GCD, and if so, which ones? I'm sure there are. Class feels empty and soulless across the board. Can we expect classes to remain this prune for the rest of WoW, or will the baseline kit be expanded? I mean, what they're trying to do is make the gearing the expansion, but this guy has some good points. Gotcha. He wants tacos as a quest reward. Is that right? Is he wrong? I don't know. Given the increase in 7th Legion rep for the war campaign, will players be granted reputation retroactively for all quests already completed? It would be a good gesture towards those who have been on the top of things thus far. That would be cool. Yeah, maybe, but I doubt it. Are there any plans to make sweeping changes to classes in response to the past year of player feedback? No. They're not going to make sweeping changes to anything. They don't. That's not how class changes work. People were abusing the item restoration, or the restoration service, yeah. Anyway, why is there a lack of dodge on armor? Because it's been removed for a very long time. Yeah, this is the only way you can gain dodge now. Could the dev team host class-specific feedback? That'd be great. Why the hell do so many players want sweeping changes to classes? Yeah, exactly. They don't seem to understand what that would do. Was the removal of Keystone deletion a bug or a design choice? It was a design choice. It was a bug fix to add it in the first place. Now that bug fix is no longer needed, so it has been removed. The option added a lot more flexibility. It also added an overpowered ability to push keys when you're not even doing your own key. So yeah, it's been 10 years. Okay, is the dance studio done yet? No. What specifically is the dev team doing to make sure community feedback is integrated into the design decisions overall? Probably nothing, because they don't want the community to design the game for them. But I'm sure that they're doing more Q&As and reading more posts and all that, so hopefully that'll be good. More so, what you should be asking is what I asked. What specifically is the dev team doing to make sure the players understand the design decisions going forward so their community feedback can be more applicable? That's the problem right now. A lot of people are like, oh, make class revert to MOP. It's like, that's never going to happen, dude. As someone with less than a week on their subscription timer, what is being done to retain players? The patch notes released only seem to be even more discouraging to not just me, but many friends of mine as well. From the removal of Guildmaster Looter to the massive artifact pruning, I mean, this has been like, what, 6 months now? Further streamlining of classes and content to the point that they're just not enjoyable. So and a fairly lackluster beginning of the expansion, that's true. I would just like to know what is going to be in store for the future of the game. Will you ever communicate with us further that these additional Q&As and the off-topic post? I do hope the answer is yes. I just want to have some kind of clue as to what's being fixed and or changed. Yes, this is basically what my question was about. I wanted to try to get that to happen too. But realistically, people need to stop acting so over-dramatic about some of these questions, honestly. You're making up a lot of stuff here. Like, Jesus, like, the removal of Guildmaster Loot. Like, I mean, does that actually bother you at this point? Massive artifact pruning. I mean, that's what you expected the artifacts to stay in the game. I don't know what to tell you. Will Demonology ever get a Pit Lord? That'd be cool. Why don't you guys take advantage of the whole Night Elf Warrior event to introduce Paladins for Night Elves? I don't know why so many people want Paladins for Night Elves. If it was up to me, though, every class and race combo would exist. People are being ignored for years now. Can we get... What the hell is this? A video. People are being ignored for years now. Can we get an actual answer about the bloody dancing steel illusion? Huh. I don't know anything about this. I mentioned this on Wowhead. Players are getting more and more emotional about their issues with this game as time goes along. Yeah, it seems that way. I think that's happening because people are letting others dictate their emotions more and more too, though. I missed my Mop Frosty K. Had conversion at 5 runic a second. Blood presence and passive 2 hands obliterate. Nice. Please address this. Okay, that's a good one. What are specific plans for Sylvanas? They're not going to say this in a Q&A. What is the reasoning behind the removal of Mythic plus key deletion? Any possibility of a better solution? Nope. The reasoning, it was never supposed to be used the way it was in the first place. It is already answered. Okay, we read that. Please make the character transfer between regions possible. Oh, that's a great question, but that's not going to happen. I actually asked them about this when I was at BlizzCon, and they basically said that the companies are effectively different companies ran by different people, so this will never happen. Selling a new character is not as enjoyable as my main character. Yep, I agree. But EU and US, WoW will always be separate, apparently. Okay, probably the fact that you can keep re-rolling keys. Yeah, exactly. This is the reason that it's happening. With cloud gaming services such as NVIDIA GeForce Now and Shadow giving gamers the possibility of a better gaming experience, is there a chance that the LUA will be updated to allow this technology? I think they actually banned this technology, didn't they? The wife got screwed over at work. Looks like she is stuck working Christmas Eve and day. No holiday pay. No holiday pay? What? How is that legal? She has to open the store every day for 5 days straight. What the hell? Oh, wow. I didn't know that you could even work on holiday without holiday pay. Wonder if Bonestorm will still be the go-to talent? Oh, yeah, definitely. Bonestorm is overpowered. Are there any plans to add a Mage Tower type challenges expansion? They might answer that, maybe, but it's not going to come for a while. The patch introduced another system where you gate character progression behind as well as you set. Weekly mythic caches, daily heroic resets, limited sources per week for Azerite drops. I mean, you can farm AP, but due to the scaling, it makes it unrealistic, and the reward does not justify the effort required. Tell that to the Russian guy who was like 0.42. When will this game look to the popularity that was Wrath of the Lich King and return to those types of loot systems? Never, because they were not good. Which wasn't Lockband's stupid amounts of unending artifact power collection. Never. Let's see. I get that Mythic Plus is inspired by Diablo 3. I'm not reading this stupid question. Can you possibly add rationale for changes? Yes, that definitely needs to happen. That was my question as well, basically. But it needs to come before the patch notes or hotfixes. We need to know about it before it happens to cut off all these stupid things. Any plans to fix professions? No. How do you even realize how unhappy players are with the gameplay of almost every class in the game? Again, I mean, if you're unhappy with every class in the game, then you just don't like World of Warcraft. I don't know what to tell you. This is so stupid. Like, what do you think changed for every single fucking class? Doesn't even make sense. I don't get it. I just don't get it. If you would ask a question, but we already know what will happen, why did I write this to let you know? To let you know. Is there any possibility of Void Elf Demon Hunter in the future? That'd be cool. Probably not, though. Why were the experience changes pushed back to patch release instead of being hotfixed? Because it's, again, a massive change. They can't just hotfix that. When will Activision stop running Blizzard? It does not run Blizzard. They're just partnered. Why you guys don't make a 10-man Mythic raid? That's not what Mythic is. Are we going to see Affliction return back to a Rotten Decay style? No. Agree to disagree. That guy's replying to something. BFA, I feel suffer from... Oh, we're almost done. Look at how many... Oh, wow. We were at 517 when we started. We gained 30 more. I feel like BFA, I feel, suffers from a great world, but not fun to play in. Class design and no real character reach for activities. Don't feel rewarding enough or too stale to want to do. I knew 8.2 was a point of trying to build a better world, and 8.1 was supposed to help class design and balance. But for those of us on the fence on staying on both fronts, 8.1 isn't doing any favors. What can you say to us who need help now and not X months later? Stop worrying about shit like this. If you don't enjoy the game, don't play it. How is massage therapist medical? Bone Storm is still... Oh, she's a massage therapist. That's wild. That's fucked up. Vicious saddles. Is there any new way to obtain them? Yeah, I've seen that a couple times now. I don't know. Are there any plans to bring back PvP vendors? I'm sure they have some kind of announcement for that. Balanced Druids have been asking for thin, stylish forms for 14 years, have they? The wish was granted at long last for the Horde as the Zandalari Eriko-esque forms. Use a totally new-to-player model and wonderfully fit their culture by taking feathered dinosaurs instead of bombkin, since bombkin are not native to Zandalar. But no such thing has been done for the Alliance. You sure? Have you seen the Zuldazar or the Kultiran ones? Alliance players are somehow stuck once again, playing fat chickens identical to what we have for 14 years. Who cares? You can use the goddamn glyph. She works with physical therapists. Gotcha. Need to critique so they can improve. People definitely take it too far. Metro, will you carol with me this Feast of Winter Veil? Sure. I agree, Russell Knight. Anything in the cards for Arcane Mage? Currently is a 2-button spec required to be in melee range. Probably the most badly designed spec. I've heard a lot of people say that, so maybe there's some validity to this. I never played Arcane, but I know Fire is really fun. For many night, I'm not reading this long ass question. Why didn't you utilize the World PvP quests in Legion, which were fun? It's a great question. I hope they answer it. Realistically, they removed them though because they were giving way too much PvP for not like nobody was actually PvPing there. Was the problem? But it would have worked well with War Mode, that's for sure. You know what? That's why. That's the answer because now War Mode's in the game. Yeah, you can't have PvP areas not in War Mode. Anyway, okay, we're not reading all this. With allied races added, do you plan on announcing any service sales before the end of the year? Probably not. And if they did, it would not be announced in a patch Q&A. Both factions have a lot of races that are already part of the faction, like Dark Iron Dwarves, but are not playable. When deciding on allied races, are existing races or brand new races more important? That's a good question. The Unholy feedback thread has completely filled once and has over 200 posts in the second thread since launch. We haven't received a single blue post in either. I was under the impression you were going to communicate more with the player base, so where is the communication? Why does every single class feel... Again, I don't know how you could say this. It's really weird. It's a really weird thing to say. Have you actually played every single class? I doubt it. But anyway, yeah, they're not going to... I don't know. There's just too many things to reply to. They can't reply to them all. Why do you insist on casters being turrets, yet continually increase the movement required in groups? This isn't fun, because it's part of the game. It's the trade-off for being ranged. Why did it take so long to find out warfronts could only be done in groups of 5? And why is it that scaling difficulties that allowed for guilds to do warfronts as a larger raid was not a feature you anticipated would be desirable for the launch of expansion? It's a good question. Very good question. Is the meat wagon mount available? It will be when the servers come up, yes. If you pre-ordered, yeah, that's correct. Any chance Blizzard can make 2 good expansions in a row? That's a good question. Faction choice is the most important decision a player in Warcraft makes, and faction conflict is a defining aspect of Battle for Azeroth. With that in mind, why do you continue to regard the Alliance-aligned Keldorai as the same character fantasy as the Horde-aligned Sindorai? Why does the most important player decision in WoW qualify a meaningful decision between these two groups of elves? Because they're not two different groups of elves. Why have you made it so hard to acquire golden BFA? It's a good question, but I think it was needed. The majority of professions are useless for making gold, maybe. The mission table and world quests are overly insultingly low rewards, being fixed today, and mandatory raid consumables are ridiculously expensive, not anymore. If you didn't stockpile gold in previous expansions, then you simply cannot afford anything. How is that fun or fair? Because gold was way out of control in previous expansions, guys. It really was. You should not be able to be making millions of gold a month from fucking mission tables and shit. That's not right. That's not right. You say that while the Azerite system is somewhat unfortunate and not where you want it to be, that we just have to deal with it. Why? Blizzard is God in World of Warcraft. Aside from a few technical standpoints, you should be able to remove it entirely. No. It's not going to be removed, dude. Please, guys, take a break, man. I'm just telling you. They're not going to remove a system like this. It's everywhere. You can't just remove it. Worlds of Draenor is considered to be one of the worst expansions produced, and Burning Crusade is considered one of the best. With that in mind, why did you create Makar Orcs from the disjointed, development-plagued alternate Draenor instead of the community favorite Outland? Because they are very old models. If it was because of customization options, couldn't they have been applied to Outland Makar? No. Outland Makar are gone, man. They're not in the game anymore, basically. When will the Mythic Plus affixes receive an overhaul? Never. My guild does not want to run dungeons 3 out of 4 weeks because there are so many obnoxious combinations. It sounds like your guild sucks. Weeks such as Fort Teaming Explosive still exist. Bolstering is universally hated by all. Disagree. And teaming forces you to kill even more mobs than the extra ones already in your way. That's true. That is the point of the effects. BFA dungeons are more compact overall, and the trash has... No, that's definitely not true. And the trash has way more mechanics. That is true. So transplanting Legion's prototype affixes doesn't make any sense. I agree they could have been changed, but they're not going to come up with like 12 new affixes. So not happening. Thank you for giving us something more to do with our Sanguicels. My issue has really been Expulsum. Yes, more Expulsum will be coming at 8.1. Check it out. What is this? It's not loading? Anyone want my stupid dog? No. Well, it was okay, at least for me. Does it taste good? World of Saltcraft. It barks for no reason. Yeah, for fuck's sake. Haha, fixes are hard. Make them more fun. Easier. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what they're asking for, to make things easier. That's the way it always is. People complaining, they only just want the game to be easier. So listed in 8.1 patch notes, I can see there's been changes to druids. The only good change I see is Guardian. Of all our specs have basically been left flapping in the wind, which is Feral. Oh yeah, Feral. I thought Feral got buffs too. Besides Balance is the only viable spec at the moment. That's obviously false. The druids have become clunky and messy to work with, and frankly not fun anymore, which most of us have changed our mains to enjoy BFA. Yeah, I mean, if you don't enjoy the spec, you gotta change. I don't know what to tell you. They're not just gonna fix the thing that you don't like about it specifically. That's not how it works, man. It's how every expansion is. If you dislike the class design in the expansion, then don't play it. But it's really not any different from Legion for the most part. Wondering why the change to deleting Mythic Plus keys seems like a great quality of life change, because it was more than a quality of life change and it was being used very offensively. Alright, let's go ahead and refresh, I guess. 478. I'm not sure what's happening here. It's not loading. I don't like RNG. Fun does not equal easier. Most people who want Mythic Plus to be more fun just want it to be easier. Yep. Server's still down. Yeah, looks like it. Let's reload the game just to make sure, but I don't mind RNG if it wasn't everywhere. RNG is everywhere, even in your real life, dude. People really overuse that term, I think. Everything is random. What was the quote? Luck is an illusory... Let's see if I could find this. It's from Pokemon Reborn, so I probably won't be able to find it. But anyway. People complain too much in this expansion? I agree, yes. The servers are still down. People are complaining a lot. Wait, this still didn't get fixed? Oh, there we go. Wait. What's going on here? Do you not use Chrome? Yeah, I use Chrome. The classes were smoother in Legion because the weapon. Yeah, the weapon helped, but... I think the weapon just spoiled people, honestly. Oh, that is Chrome. Yes, this is Chrome. The unique quest zone that I really like is Justvar. Gotcha. I don't know what's going on here, but we might be done here. Can't seem to read the last 50 or so questions. The forum has been redacted. You can't see it because you don't have a security clearance. No. I don't think that's the case. Look like Mozilla, mana break? Yeah, if you need a drink, that's fine. Oh, I'm fucking dead though, guys. I'm so sick, it's crazy. I think I'm gonna need to get off here. I hope to stick around and hope the servers come up, but I don't know. I mean, they probably will come up early, but by the time they do, I'll just be so tired. Get some food? I already ate. Any update from the dev team on the servers? No, there's no update. Get that vitamin C, yeah? Servers won't be up early? They usually are, to be honest, but... Sounds like the infra team would know more about the servers than the dev team, yeah. Bit patch day, they will be down for a while. Last time there was a major patch, it was up really early. Although, I wasn't around for 8.0, I was on holiday there, but... For 7.3.5, they were up like 3 hours early, so... Forums seem to be down? Yeah, it seems like the forums are just down now. I have to see how much currency the chest gives. Yeah, I really wanted to record that. That sucks. This sucks. I really wanted to be able to get that on footage, but... Move my shaman to Horde and have been working on gearing him. So once I get gear, I can join you in some Mythic Plus. Sweet. They stated on the dev data mine stuff a 10 gives 50. On the, wait, where's that? The servers are supposed to be offline for another 2 hours, but usually they would. I feel like usually they would come up earlier. It's on Wowhead. All right, let's take a look at some other stuff then while we wait. I wanted to read the rest of that, but I guess that's not going to happen. Oh, there's a patch trailer.
Hear these words. Alliance dogs.
Damn.
The Zandalari have been here longer than you could ever dream.
Look!
No matter what happens this day, Zandala will stand long after your pathetic alliance has crumbled to dust.
Oh, there was that mountain. What the hell was that? Why were they trying to play? How cool this place looks. I can't wait to this place. Definitely gonna be my favorite island.
With the Horde at our side, the Empire will triumph. The lower of death awaits you.
Come on, zombie, play the game! Holy shit, man, I can't wait.
Forever.
I'm so excited for this, man. This is gonna be my favorite raid ever for sure. I'm super excited for the next raid. Yeah, link to the tab in your Discord. Oh, thanks, man. Looks good. Yeah, it does. Wait. Oh, to your Discord messages. Gotcha. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, this is the thing I made the video on. I'm not seeing it. I made a video on this post. It's like an estimation. They're just estimating. 55 to 83 because they said it's supposed to take 2 to 3 weeks, so that would be 2 to 3 weeks. It's just an estimation. They don't know for sure. It's at the bottom. Oh, where? The bottom of what? Oh, I haven't seen any of the raid testing yet. I haven't either, to be honest. Is there any out that you know about? The raid testing? Oh yeah, raid testing's been going on. I just haven't had the time. You looked at it already? The speculation portion. Oh yeah. So we agree that it's speculative. Yeah, it's not confirmed. based on these numbers and the fact that they said to read 2 to, like, whatever, based on their estimation, then this is what it should be. So we'll find out. I'm very excited to see it because I want to. The main thing I want to do is I've done a 10 on my shaman, an 11 on my druid, and a 15 on my DK. I would like to see exactly how much you get from a 15 compared to a 10 and 11, and then compare exactly how much you get from an 11 to a 10. Off to get the kid. Catch you later. Sweet, man. Yeah, hopefully I will. Who knows? We might get 500 from a chest. Yeah, it might be bugged. We might. Dude, we're probably going to get Legion credit still. I'm going to get like a 22 credit from Legion. I guarantee it. I fucking guarantee it's going to happen. If we scrap our Azerite gear, we'll be get dust. Yeah, any new Azerite gear, but the old one shouldn't work. Although, again, wouldn't be surprised if it was bugged. They love tossing high item level gear out like Oprah. Yeah, they're not going to do that on purpose. It's going to be a bug, if anything. You think people will be farming 0 for No, that's why I made the video on this. I guess you didn't watch it. Zeros give 0. Or no, they give, yeah, 340 gives 1. So, I mean, it depends. Like on alts, if you're not looking for 385, it might be worth it. If you're just looking for a 370, it might be worth doing zeros on alts. But getting like, at most you're gonna get 10, right? Like the best you could ever get. Unless a bunch of people trade you theirs, which I guess is possible, but the best you'll get is 10, 1 from every dungeon, and that's never gonna happen. So it doesn't really, it wouldn't, I don't think it would add up. Then you get a 20 T key, you can't downgrade. I would do a 20 all day, man. Don't forget that zeros will be dropping. You can still downgrade keys though, by the way. Don't forget that zeros will be dropping 370s in January. Yeah, it's a while from now though. So you're looking at 12 for a 370. 12. Yeah, but it's going to go up, right? Like a 370, 12, but then to get 415, it's apparently going to be, based on this guy, 415 is going to be 1,250, so. I guess 12 is better than 1, though. That's a pretty big jump, actually. I don't know. I'm excited either way. Alright, we're going to hang out until 4 o'clock, and if the realms don't come back up, then I'm going to end the stream. Regardless, the amount those pieces drop from scrapping is so small that it's almost pointless to focus on. Yeah, I mean, it's never meant to have been farmed like that, but it's like, if you got them, they would be good, and that's really good for the game, I feel like. I think that's really good for the game. Giving, like, additional incentives to other content on top of Mythic Plus is really smart. What is this? Uh-oh. Oh. Huh, that's interesting. Oh, that's quite interesting. That's neat. So we won't have to constantly download like 3 versions of the game. Metro, is your server low pop? It says medium, I think, but it's pretty low pop, yeah. It doesn't even seem to matter anymore, though. I see more people from off my realm than I do on my realm, so it doesn't even matter. Oh, the Hoarder contributing right now? Fuck. I bet if I logged on last night, I would have been able to do this stuff twice. That sucks. I missed a big chunk of AP there. Class guide updated. Oh, that's good. These have actually been updated? Looks like server pop for Fire Tree and Connected Realms is about 300k. Yeah. You need to get on a higher pop server for Mythic raid progression? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be leaving the realm, that's for sure. Where would these changes even be? As with raiding, Blood struggles with massive attacks, advantage, proactive defensives, and proper active mitigation abilities. Blood continues to have a lower degree of mobility compared to other tanks as well. This can make kiting more difficult for Blood than other tanks. Disagree. Oh yeah, this part is obviously true. Fire Tree Alliance must be hug problem getting people. Huge problem? I don't know, I haven't looked at the guild split. Fire Tree used to be like 50-50, but I don't think it is anymore. You think that the Darkshore Warfront boss will drop 400? It's probably going to scale to 370, yeah. I don't know, though. I guess we'll find out. You agree with what Asmongold is saying? BFA is the worst expansion, and there's nothing to do. No, definitely not. Couldn't agree more, or couldn't disagree more, to be honest. BFA is definitely not the worst expansion by any measurable metric. WoD is absolutely the king. Even if BFA was second, which I wouldn't say it was, WoD is definitely the worst expansion without any question. And to say there's nothing to do in BFA, just, I mean, that's ridiculous. It's absurd. Just because you may not like the things that there are to do in the game doesn't mean they don't exist. Well, I guess, pretty sure Asmon didn't say BFA was the worst. If he did, I have even less respect for the guy, honestly. He's getting to the point now where this dude's doing more harm to the community than he's helping at this point. He used to be the exact opposite too, man. He used to be like, such a big player in the community, and now it's hard to believe. Anyway, nothing to do outside of Mythic Plus and PvP. Disagree. I think that some YouTubers are making the problem worse by glorifying the hate. Yes, definitely agree with that, Ryan. I thought Siege of Orgrimmar was one of the better raids recently, so WoD can't be that bad. Siege of Orgrimmar? Did you mean Hellfire Citadel? It doesn't really matter though. If you're like comparing things objectively, WoD has no peer to how bad it is. It just has there's just nothing in the game. Challenge modes are a weaker version of Mythic Plus. There was considerably less raids than any other expansion, and arguably 2 of them were terrible. The zones they added were extremely basic. They gave you very little to do in them. There were no world quests, no content like that for them. The dailies that were in the zones were basically useless once you entered Mythic Dungeon, or whatever, even Heroic Dungeons, whatever it was at the time. And, you know, they had so many class problems. It was unreal, like way worse than BFA. Derp, I meant HFC. Great expansion, bad gear progression system. Well, it's the same as Legion, and I like those, so. Anyway, what is your favorite class in BFA? Mine is Draenei Rep Pally, Blood Death Knight. Tagore, according to Realm Pop, the Horde Pop is 65% of the population in his realm and the connected realms. Gotcha. Did you ever get over to Fire Tree, or you still haven't done it yet? What were the class problems of Draenor? The big problem was that they were basically starting to do like the massive sweeping changes from MoP into WoD, and it gave pretty substantial, like some classes were still heavily homogenized and others were like heavily outlier, like considering an outlier. Like for example, if you look at Blood DK, it just had everything. It had no faults. You know what I mean? Like they had the best defense, the best physical damage reduction, the best magic damage reduction, the best utility, the best offense, and obviously mobility was always a problem for them, but it wasn't really needed. They had the best utility by no small margin. They just had everything, you know? And it was because they were trying not to redesign things so heavily like they did in Legion, but it created insane imbalance. Like if you just look at any MoP or WoD challenge mode, just watch this trinket just one-shot bosses, like stuff like that. It was just so bad. On the Blizzard Shop, BFA Digital Deluxe is on sale for $20. Oh, that's cool. Figured worst case scenario, I have until before raid release to get me there. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I would, if you're gonna join the guild, I would want that to happen before. That's for sure. Or so worst case scenario, I would say is next week. If you don't have money, let me know. I could hook you up. Dragon Soul worst endgame raid ever. Yeah, Dragon Soul was terrible, but I quite liked. I think Firelands and the early raids were good. Kata is definitely better than WoD right there. I would say, in my opinion, raids ranked from worst to best. Again, this is just my opinion, but there are ways to compare objectively. Number 1 is WoD, worst, of course. Number 2 is Cataclysm, worst, second worst. Number 3 is Wrath. Absolutely hated Wrath. Number 4, this is when things start to get good. TBC. 5 is Legion, and then wait, is there 7? Am I missing an expansion? Yeah, Mop. Yeah, so then BFA. So it would be like, let's do it again. So WAD, Kata, Wrath, TBC, Mop, Legion, BFA. Mop was way worse than Wrath. Don't agree at all. What's server transfer? $25? Yeah, something like that. Hey, Metro just came to say you are a sexy little devil. How you doing, man? Hey, what's up, buddy? I'm very ill right now. I'm not feeling good. Kata Dungeons on Heroic on release were a lot of fun. Yeah, for about 2 months. ICC was awesome. ICC was alright. Uldar is one of my favorite raids ever, but the expansion has 2 of my least favorite raids ever. Well, definitely my least favorite raids ever. Not even close. TOC and the Nax remake were terrible. Absolutely horrible. They gutted spell diversity in Mop. I disagree. Can I get your opinions on this? I did more damage last night as Rep Paladin than the tank. He was doing a dungeon. From what I understand, the tank is supposed to do more damage. That is not the case, obviously. Well, let's check the forums again, I guess. Yeah, Mop tanking was really fun because of Vengeance, but... Hey, we got a Shami from the stream. That's correct, yep. That is, Ryan Toll, I believe, from the stream. His name's Abstinence or something. Possibly due to a connection problem. I wonder if it's actually just that thread. Did a couple keys with us over the weekend. Yeah, I did some with him while I was there. Tank should currently do less DPS than a damage dealer overall. Otherwise, we would just run 4 tanks, yes. I assume he's joking. Let's read some of the Q&As here. I really wouldn't, the questions here. I really wouldn't want to be them, alright? Damn, that's brave, but to be fair, there's a chance to calm down the community quite a bit if done smart. We'll see. Yeah. I don't think the community wants to calm down, so it's not going to change anything. Ask them about a 75% dislike ratio on the survival guide. I think I know what they would say. And before everyone and their brother posts their questions here instead of where they belong and will be read. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, look at these people posting questions. This is interesting. Looking forward to them answering some questions. Me too. Oh, this is the guy... This guy posted this on the actual thread as well. You need to hit it out of the park with this one and not just dance around the issues. That will never be possible because people's opinions of what hitting out of the park is not their opinions. You need to get OMC to raid. It's DPS. It's not too shabby on his DK. Yeah, he doesn't want to raid. he raided with us in the end of WAD. He didn't enjoy it. Watching your content is giving me more faith in the game and the community. I'm glad to hear that, Khalil Hawkins. I try my best to be objective and even positive at times. So, Daniel, what's up? I did not know. I am now. I see. I went Hunter because shamans were so bad, but now I think I'll go back Ellie with the new changes. Yeah, I agree. I am new to World of Warcraft. I see. Marksman is going to be balls deep in 8.1. Balls deep in what? If you would like Blizzard to answer your questions, do not post them here. Yes. I want to hear Alex Afrasiabi. He is my last hope. Why is that? Can you hire again Chris Metzen, Ghostcrawler, Chris Metzen? I mean, he owned the fucking company basically. He's not gonna get hired. Ghostcrawler, no, he's already got a position. And fire Ian and Goldie. Why? A lot of people are complaining the current state of the game, even of the company. So what? You think that means they should get fired? And get somebody who's not even looking for a job and somebody who retired? I don't think you really understood what Chris Metzen did. Sweet. Now we can all sit and pray for answers that we won't get and see that the sheer wealth of non-answers and cynical bullshit we get. I just look forward to these. Now, just a reason to do a shot every time he dodges a question like Neo dodges a bullet. It's a clever way of writing that. How long have you played on Fire Trivy? Since TBC. But yeah, Ellie is going to be better, and then I can Auspex Chain Heal. Nice. Imagine if they made Grip cost 20 runic power. That'd be interesting. Red Dead playthrough? Nah. Fuck that. I won't play Red Dead. Don't give Blizzard these kinds of ideas. What did Chris Metzen do exactly? He was the creative lead for the game, but basically he was just a tenured-in developer from old IPs that basically just dealt with storyline and did some whatever you'd call it, some voice acting. So he really did not have any impact on the actual content of the game. In all honesty, ever since those Q&A started back in Legion, I followed them with some interest. Last few ones, however, barely answered anything relevant. Questions about one and the same topics are and almost nothing of relevance to discuss. I like how Ian handles himself and somehow manages to come out in front of us, given the bad feedback and expansion has received so far. It's kind of admirable, even. However, he mostly twists and turns words, stretches explanations, answers needlessly, and at least it looks like this to me, sounding more like a lawyer or a politician. Well, he is a lawyer, you know that, right? I realize keeping every aspect of the player base happy is impossible, and he has to be very careful on how he chooses words, but come on. I mean, you just said it. It's impossible, so what's the point? I agree, or I will give Ian credit. He is brave to stand in front of a hostile audience. He's not. He's just streaming. Bone Storm, yeah. Yeah, Bone Storm's a good spell. Well, I think, let's see if we can't clip this from earlier. Do you think I should DK or Monk to push higher Mythic Plus? I'm a prop Pally and I feel stuck around 14 keys. Nope, just try to get a more progressive-minded group. Oh, it says 190 watching. Damn it, there it was. I got tired of playing Guild Wars 2, so I decided to play World of Warcraft. Sorry to hear that. Oh, wait, no, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing. Good, welcome. Guild Wars 2 blows. Anyway, alright, so how do we do this? Oh, you can't create a highlight anymore. Fuck. Well, I guess we're not doing that. I forgot you have to have it on the certain mode to be able to do highlights, so I'm going to have to download it and do it later. Do you prefer BFA or vanilla style raid progression? Definitely BFA. There was very little vanilla raid progression, unfortunately. I like Classic a lot, but not much to do in Classic, unfortunately. Especially in 2018 and 19, whatever, there won't be much raid progression to be made, so it's kind of unfortunate. All right, well, it's 4 o'clock, and we're not seeing the realms come back up or the forums come back up, so we basically can't do anything. Bone Storm will be harder to use when you are in immediate danger, as it will no longer instantly heal you to full in big pulls. I mean, like I said, I never pull more than 5 mobs anyway. The only times I ever pull more than 5 mobs, I don't need Bone Storm to survive, so. Thanks for being awesome. You're a great YouTube on one of my favorites. I love all your videos that you're doing on Pug Mistakes. Sweet. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or, you know, you want to hear my opinions on that topic more, let me know. Yep, that's why they nerfed it, to discourage the people, like the very, very, very small percentage of people who are doing like 5 pulls and relying on Bone Storm. It was a bit overpowered. Should have never been allowed. I'm going to crash the game one more time just to make sure. My luck, as soon as I log off, they'll come up. Were the buffs to Prot Warrior enough for Mythic Plus? Oh yeah, they're huge. Huge buffs. They're still going to be the second, or if not the worst. I think they'll probably still be the worst tank, though. Without self-healing and good utility, they'll always be bad, but they're definitely better at surviving now. That was a big problem. Okay, so yeah, 4 o'clock. Try to get a nap in before raid, but... Thanks anyway, guys. I'm going to change the title of the stream. Okay, so tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen here. Feel better soon, thanks. Did you crash the servers? No. Oh, I couldn't even log in that time. What the hell? Get better, man. Fire Tree Alliance is fun, especially when spotted by Unreal. All right. 16 Milo this morning. Group insists on pulling big and lusting. We wipe twice and then group disbands. Jesus Christ. Yep, that's annoying. Thanks for another great stream. Yeah, sorry. I mean, this is not a great stream, but... Thanks for you guys' support, and we'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow. I'm really ill. I don't know. I'm supposed to have... I have a haircut appointment tomorrow at 11, so I don't know if I'm even going to be able to make it to that, but... Yeah, realistically. Hopefully the servers will be up or whatever. No problems, but... Thanks for watching. We'll hope to see you guys tomorrow. See how I feel. See ya.